Hey guys, welcome to Dollywood. We're so excited.
Dollywood! Finally.
Okay, so it feels like we have been talking about this day forever, and we kind of have, because when we were, me and Bobby were doing a date night, which we should really get into that again.
Yeah.
Life got kind of busy. So let us know if you can hear us, if you can see us, all of those things. He's going to be with us just for a minute, but then we'll kick him out. Then we got some, I love you. We got some goal setting to do. But on January 1st of this year, we were having our date night at Six Flags, and we were thinking about Paint Party Business Live and the location. Originally, our plan was to have Paint Party Business Live somewhere in Texas every single year. And then Bobby said, oh good, Cher, y'all can hear me, good. Bobby said, how about Dollywood? And I just looked at him and was like, yes, that is where.
Genius. Genius.
Yeah, he's a genius. So good job, honey. So he basically is the one who said that, and then it just put all of these wheels in motion. And so for 10 months now, you know, we have had Cherie as well as many other people behind the scenes, just totally helping. And then once everything hit with COVID, we thought, how could we add? Well, first off, we sold out of tickets in 10 hours, which was freaking insane. I had no idea that would happen. Then COVID started hitting, and then people were like, maybe you should cancel. And we were like, okay, we need to make sure this is okay. And we decided to go ahead with it, but we decided to offer this 3-hour masterclass. So we are so happy you're here, and we're going to spend the next 3 hours together. But first, I wanted to start in prayer. Those of you that know me, you know I love this journal, and I write all my prayers to God in it. Just things, you know, I talk to y'all. He's never seen it. He doesn't look at it. Don't look at it. It's not for you. It's for me and God. And so I was writing this morning, and I was reading because there's little scriptures on the bottom. And so, and for those of y'all that did not, you know, that are not able to come to the Paint Party Business Live in person, guys, it is crazy what God is doing. Like, what is happening, what we thought was going to be an event that was going to be possibly limited to 200 max is potentially turning into something just really amazing. So next year, be ready, because I think it's going to be even bigger. But today I want to focus on your goals, your setting. And first, I wanted to just read what I had. So I was writing this morning, and there's scriptures at the bottom. And at the bottom, it said, because, you know, this whole thing is about, you know, I'm here to lead you, but really, you know, this is between you and God. And this is between y'all creating something so cool. You know, I call it co-creating with God. And the two verses, as I'm sitting here, are saying, God, please lead me to help me, you know, lead you, right? And it says, you are my rock and my fortress. For your name's sake, you lead me and guide me. Psalm 31:3. And then the other one that's right beside it says, search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my thoughts. Point out anything in me that offends you, and lead me along the path of everlasting life. Psalm 139:23 and 24. And so what we're going to do first, before I give you a tour of this amazing, awesome Dolly Suite, which I know, is anybody excited about that? Before we do, Bobby's like, I am excited. There are gold glitter showers, which me and Pixie have already voted. We have got to have these in our house. I don't know how, but we got to figure it out. But before we get started on this, and we're about to do the tour, I want to just say a prayer. I just want to start in prayer, because this next 3 hours could be intense for some of y'all. It could be some stuff that, you know, especially those of you, I know you're watching this from all over the world. And so I want you to take this next 3 hours serious, because there's so many opportunities out there, but we have to know how to do this kind of stuff, okay? We have to know how to put a goal into place, how to make it happen. I never in a million years thought that we would be sitting in the Dolly Suite right now talking to you, and my daughter in Dolly Suite gold glitter showers, literally like playing on the floor with them. Like, we've got to get this at home. Like last night, I think she was in the shower for like, what, an hour?
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing? Playing with the floor, Dad.
Yeah, playing with the floor. And then she was singing for a long time. So that was happening too. So I would have never, I mean, again, from bankruptcy to business owner, would never in a million dreams imagined what we get to do right now. So I want to help you with your goal setting. And I think a lot of the things that I've been doing for a long time, along with a lot of God's grace and prayer, is making things happen. So I just want to help you with that process too. So let's start in prayer. For those of you that pray, and for those of you that don't, if you want to just take a moment of silence, that's fine. But we're just going to do a quick prayer, and then I'm going to give you a tour, and then we'll get started. All right, everybody take a deep breath. We need a deep breath. Then we'll do some jumping jacks. All right. Dear God, I love you so, so much. I just want to say thank you for these women. I want to say thank you for each and every single one of them that has put their trust in you, that has you've given them the spirit of wanting to do something great for you. We know this just isn't about paint parties, and I'm so, so, so thankful that it's not just about paint parties. I'm so grateful that you give us these opportunities to share your love. I'm so grateful that you give us these opportunities to dream big in the midst of this crazy crisis going on in our world. I just pray, God, for each one of these women's hearts. I pray so, so much that you would just be with them, help them to think of the possibilities, to know that you want great things for them. I pray, God, that you would just put your hand on them, just give them love this week. Just help them to take away any fear they have about what's possible, what's not possible, because we know with you every single thing is possible. And we just love you, and we're so grateful for this. And we just pray for a happy time together. And we pray that not everything in life has to be so freaking serious. We pray that you'll just help us to have fun when there's times to have fun. We pray that you'll help us to be able to bring that in when we can. We pray that you'll just help give us rest. We know there's many of us out there burning the candles at both ends, and we pray that you'll help give us rest, give us peace, but also just know how to glorify you in the best way. We love you, and we thank you for this next 3 hours together. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay. All right, guys. So we are going to do a tour of the Dolly Suite, and then we are going to come back and work through this and setting your dreams and your goals. And so, Bobby, we're going to carefully take this off our Archon stand. Okay, so we can do it. Oh, there goes Bobby. There goes Bobby. Okay, so I told him he has to keep it horizontal or we're messing this whole thing up. And be careful not to turn it off, okay? Okay, so I'm like a little okay, so see if you can, actually, it's gonna be on your face, get ready. There he is. Okay, so now, you should be able to do it, okay. Okay, so this is the chair that I'm sitting in, which, Bobby, please find this and buy it for me. It's my favorite thing besides the glitter showers and the whole thing. So I'm gonna be sitting on that today, but we're gonna give you a tour. So actually, let's go out, hide it, don't let them see. We're gonna go out and then back in. Like they're coming into the...
Well, this is just weird.
It's like an MTV Cribs. Did y'all watch MTV?
Don't lock us out.
I won't. You're going to go out. I'm going to say, welcome to my crib.
Okay.
Oh, Bobby's gone. I'm partying.
Okay, we're ready. Should I knock?
Yeah, you got to knock the house. Welcome to my crib. Okay, so I want y'all to see it kind of how we saw it when we came in, because we were freaking out. So this is just one of the areas. So there's this, we'll start with the little side bathroom, because I didn't realize this was here. And then I didn't even know it had 2 bathrooms. But when you come in here, you want to come show them? There's, you know how we're doing the denim and diamonds? I might have to borrow some for part of my outfit.
The textures on these.
Yeah. It's like they've E6000 glued it. Like this is like crafter's paradise. It's so pretty.
There we go.
So do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, y'all let us know what y'all think, because we want to give you a full tour before we get started. Okay, so this is the little guest bathroom, okay, which is freaking insane. I'm like, Dolly did not, no expense was wasted on that stuff. Glad there wasn't anything in there.
Like a gremlin?
A gremlin. Okay, so this room does not come with 2 beds. So Pixie she had to sleep in a cot because they told me this is like a honeymoon suite or something. But we are letting our child stay with us. So here's this, and then the fireplace. So this has been really nice because we came up on Sunday. So I just love this. I'll start the fireplace, and then if you want to show them the Bible she has here.
Oh yeah, it's really pretty.
She has a bunch of really cool books here. And this was sitting here, and then the fireplace. So honestly, y'all, this is like where I've been sitting. Like I'll get my coffee and I just sit here. Like this is my favorite place with this rug, which I love so much. And then we have over here the cool view. So out every room, which you'll see, is the view of the pool and the mountains. So is it too bright or can they see it?
No, I think it's good.
Is it good? Oh, good. So you can. Oh, good, Francine. You can hear. Hey, Deborah. So yeah, and then if you can see, can you point to those mountains? Mm-hmm. Like out every window, there's like the mountains that you can see. And then over, for those of y'all that are coming live, over there on the left side in that event space, that's where we're going to have a bunch of stuff happening on Wednesday. So for those of y'all that are, I know a lot of you that are watching are coming live. And so that'll be happening Wednesday night. And then of course we have stuff for Dollywood. And okay, so then this is just kind of like the whole place has art. So here's like a butterfly art that's all done, again, all done in crystals and just fun, beautiful stuff. And then this area is kind of fun. Who knew she played saxophone? I didn't know that. Did any of y'all know that Dolly played sax? I didn't know that about her, but look at this outfit. She's freaking awesome. I mean, look at all the jewels. So happy. So her saxophone's here. I thought this was very fitting for most of us, y'all. Meditations for women who do too much. Maybe the 3 hours should just be on that. Should we do that?
Right?
Maybe it should just be
like,
that.
here's your book, babe.
Yeah, it sounds like we're just gonna put this book away. We're just gonna start going through this book. And then she has some cool stuff here, just like a little bit of fan stuff. And then I wanted to show y'all the chairs for the kitchen table. I thought these were so cute. It's like everything in here kind of has a shine or a shimmer or a
Of
glow.
course.
The floors?
I said, of course.
Oh, of course, yeah. And then this is kind of a cool little area. We have not ate here yet. I don't know why we haven't, but we should. But this is all done in butterflies. Oh, did they get to see the chandelier above that one too?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know if they've seen that. But it's a nice little eating area for, when we do formal eating.
Really cool.
It's not really as too much, but. And then here's the bedroom.
Yeah, they're saying she plays banjo, violin, piano.
This is where the magic happens. I'm doing cribs. Okay, so this is really cool. So I don't know why this many pillows are needed, but I really like it. We have 4 pillows on our bed, and we use all 4. But I guess people have like lots of pillows.
Decorative.
Is that a thing?
Sure.
I feel like we need to go to a home goods store and buy like 50 pillows now. Because it's really pretty, but man, it's a lot of work. You gotta take every freaking pillow off and then put them all on. And then she has these really cool, like, oh, Bobby, I didn't see the backs of them. Did you see the backs of these chairs?
The fabric with butterflies?
Yeah, will you show them?
Yeah.
That is so cool.
These are really cool chairs. And then the backs are all
Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that.
butterfly fabric. Ah.
That is really cute. And then, did they see the picture?
No, there's one behind you though. It's really cool.
Oh, it's like geese and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything is
Everything's mirrors.
Yeah, mirrors, well done. This one's really cute too. And then I think these are metal.
Oh, don't
Oh
break
no,
'em.
they're like little.
They're delicate butterflies.
I don't want to get in trouble. I once touched Starry Night at the museum and got way in trouble. I got yelled at by, went up to Starry Night and I was like, Pixie, come on. She was like 7. And I went like this to like, you know, take my picture with it, but I bumped it with my shoulder and the security guard yelled and was like, step away from the painting. And I was like, Pixie, hurry. Took a picture. We have this picture and Pixie looks so awkward. Like, what's going on? And then there's also in here another view of the mountains and all of that. And then in the master bedroom, there's an office, which is kind of cool. So I'll show you the office and then the closet, which is really cool. So in here she has, which you can't move it. It's like stuck. It's like stuck to the place because I was going to move it because I was working. I was like, I can't even move Dolly. So this was here. And then this is a bag I bought. And I just wanted to show y'all because I think it's so cool. It says, how cool is it that the same God that created oceans and mountains and galaxies looked at you and thought the world needed one of you too? Isn't that sweet?
So sweet.
So sweet. So this is like a little office area. I've actually really been using it to work. And then over here is the closet. So we kind of have all our clothes ready for the event hung up. And then this is like my boot section. So I packed like half my boots, but I told Bobby, I was like, we're going to need another suitcase for more boots. So it's kind of neat because everything can be put away. And then the best part is this bathroom, okay? Are y'all ready? Does anybody want to see the bathroom?
I think they do.
Do y'all want to?
Pretty sure.
I don't know if they do. I know there's a picture.
Anyway.
Oh, look at this. Hello? Hello?
She's like, it's a real phone. Of course it's a real phone.
Would y'all like to see the bathroom? Hello? And it works. Can y'all hear it? It's so cool. I was like, what do I even do?
Of course I want to see the bathroom.
Okay, we'll show the glitter showers last.
Okay.
Okay, so this is like my favorite part of the whole place, okay? This is crazy. So this is where I have been because I can watch Hallmark movies while looking at the Smokies. Y'all, this is like the craziest thing in the world. So yeah, this is like at night I watch a Hallmark movie and I'm like, they're gonna have to drag me out of this place.
Oh, and the chandelier above that. It's awesome too.
And then look, right here, let me just show them the view. I'm not gonna get, but look, the mountains with Hallmark. Mountains and Hallmark. It is freaking insane. So yeah, I told Bobby, I'm like, I'm not leaving. I don't want to leave ever. So yeah, so this has been crazy. And then they had spa stuff for us, which was kind of cool. And then this vanity. So all of this is like mirrored, which is really cool. And they just did a beautiful job. What do y'all think?
Oh, the vanity, yeah.
Oh, the vanity. So this is really cool. So, I got all my denim and diamond stuff ready for y'all that are coming to that.
Mirror with the butterfly.
Oh, I didn't even notice the butterfly up there.
Really?
I did. There's so many butterflies. I don't know where to look. Okay, and then just a bathroom, just your everyday marble bathroom. What the heck? And then let me show you the best and most extravagant favorite part of the whole place. Look at this freaking floor. So apparently last night, Pixie was in here for like an hour playing with this. And then she had this and was singing. So here's Pixie, my daughter, for like an hour, singing in the shower, playing with glitter floors. So we have been like total, we're trying so hard not to, we literally had to clean this place up just to show y'all, because we're slobs. So
We're not slobs.
You're not a slob. Me and Pixie,
That might be true.
we're disasters. So before this, we had to seriously clean it all up. So that's basically the Dolly Suite. It was crazy. We were at the gift shop last night, and one of the ladies, we said, could you charge it to the Dolly Suite? And she goes, oh my gosh, some of the employees have never even seen it. And so I was like, I almost wanted to bring her up. I was like, come here, have some coffee with us or something. But I just felt like, oh my gosh, what a privilege to get to be a part of this. So I wanted to make sure this masterclass included a tour. And then just every time you look out a window, if you want to show them, Bobby, it's just mountains. So like every window in every room just has beautiful mountains. So, okay. All right, anything else they want to see before we get this started?
So Pixie is downstairs getting stuff ready. She's here with us. And Blue is back home. He has a dog sitter, and she's taking good care of him. So they're good.
Yeah, Blue would pee on everything.
No, he wouldn't.
He would. He would be so excited.
He would love the glitter.
He would love the glitter, and he would pee on everything. He would. So we can't. This rug right here, poor Dolly's rug. So yeah, I don't think we can bring Blue. Okay, so we're gonna get started. Is any questions before we get started on the master class? Anything?
I don't know. It takes 15 seconds for him to answer.
It's a 15-second delay. I know, we never know if you are getting our jokes. It's gonna be on your face. Okay, let me see. Oh, you're welcome, Yvette. Oh, crap. Sorry, I'm messing up the setup. Okay, so let me get you back in here. Oh, thank you, Kelly. Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. So I wanted to, do you have a coffee bar? Yes, we have a coffee bar right here. There it is, the coffee bar. Okay, so if you could not print this out, it's okay. So we posted in this section in the announcements where everything's at. And it's okay, Yvette, if you don't have the book, it's totally okay. So a couple things, just get a piece of paper and a pen. If you have Post-it notes, that would be wonderful. If you don't have Post-it notes, that's okay. But get paper, a pen, and then if you have this, you're going to be able to follow through with me. A lot of you actually, took them to Staples. I actually took mine to Staples, paid for it to be bounded just so it looked better, but you can literally just print it off. It's not a big deal if you print it, or in the announcements, we also have the electronic version where you can edit it. Y'all know I can't say that word very well. So edit it, okay? All right. So I'm gonna take a drink, we're gonna take a deep breath, and we are going to get into this because there's 3 parts about this that we're gonna go through. And remember, at any time, if you have to come back and watch the replay, there will be a replay on this. So don't worry, we have you covered. There will be a replay. Don't worry, but what I do advise you, Amanda, we were reading each other's minds. Yes, there will be a replay. So if you can't be here for it, or you can only be here for part of it, yes, you can watch the replay. What I recommend though is as you do this, as you go through it, really try to give yourself time to not be interrupted, because some of this that we're about to go through really takes some time of just thinking, of just processing, of those kinds of things, okay? So anybody that's joining right now, when you rewind, you're gonna see a full tour of the Dolly Suite, and then also you're gonna be able to watch this. So if you can only watch part of it now, that's fine. If you can only watch part of it later, whatever that is for you, that's fine. There'll be a replay, and it will still be in here. And then if any of y'all missed the beginning of this, I just did a full tour of the Dolly Suite. So if you want to see that, make sure you check it out. Oh, I'm so happy you're here too. Okay, are y'all excited? Are y'all ready for this? I'm gonna have some time at the end too. Yes, you need to replay the tour, Barb. Definitely. I'm gonna have some time at the end of this too to actually answer some questions. But basically whenever I was coming with this, when I was coming up with this 3-hour masterclass, hey Tony, hey Kelly, I wanted to come up with basically 3 things. I was just trying to pray about this, trying to figure out how can I lead you best, because we all know that hardly anybody writes down their goals. I think it's 3% of people write down their goals, and actually 1% of those people review their goals on a daily basis, okay? So when you think about that in the whole world, that's why everybody's just going through life, just doing whatever everybody else has them do, right? So what we're gonna do is we are going to be specific. And when we're going to be specific, I was trying to figure out how we could do this. So I came up with basically 3 things I'm going to walk you through. And this is what I came up with. So forgiveness, possibility, and action. Okay? So if you don't have your book, write down those 3 terms because that's what we're going to be going through. Okay? And I'm going to go through this workbook with you, and I'm going to lead you through some processes that I think are that I hope will help you for this, okay? To help you gain clarity. Because here's the thing, you can say, I want to be this or I want to be that, but none of it matters if you don't have actionable things and steps that you can do. We can dream big all we want, but if we don't take any action towards it, and sometimes that action doesn't need to be, I'm here at stage 1 and now I want to be a multi-millionaire, but I only make, $1,200 a month now and I want to be a multi-millionaire by December. Like that doesn't make sense. Like none of that makes sense. So you have to make sure that you're being realistic. And I'm going to walk you through a process today that will hopefully help you and figure out kind of what is your realistic next action step. So I'm not a person who's like, yeah, success happens overnight. You just snap your fingers and everything works. No, y'all, those of you that know me, you know my story and you know that that's not how it works. So I'm here to help guide you, but you got to figure out what you want first. Okay. All right. So gratitude and appreciation. Okay. So as we start this process, first off, we have got to start with gratitude. Okay. And somebody says something's breaking up. It may be, Carolyn, it may be your internet. If everybody else will just let me know if it's okay. Just say, yes, I can hear you fine. We just want to make sure that's okay. And then if you want to double check maybe with Pixie, it may just be Carolyn's. Sometimes you have to turn off your Wi-Fi if you're in a different area. Okay, Kelly can hear, good. Kathy can hear. Okay, good. It may just be hers. Okay, awesome. Okay, so the first part that I want you to do is I want you to think about people in your life and write down what you love most about them, okay? Also write down anything you're grateful for. We must let go of expectations on other people and replace it with appreciation. So as you write, use this time to also pray for your loved ones. Okay, so this is the first step. And I'm going to do this too while I'm quiet. And if you're at your house, I would do it here, but it won't let me and do a Facebook Live. But if you're at your house, if you want to play some music or something like that, that's totally fine. But I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I wish I had a timer. Do we have anything for a timer? Can you please put on 5 minute timer? I love you. Thank you. But here's the thing about gratitude. A lot of times we put expectations on people, and when you put expectations on people, how many of y'all had somebody like fail you? Have you had anybody in your life fail you? Right? We all have, and we fail people all the time. So when we come from this place of gratitude and appreciation, we have got to take away expectations on other people, okay? So during this time, if you don't have the book printed, I want you just to take a piece of paper, okay? And then for the next 5 minutes, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a moment, think about the most important people in your life, and I want you to write down what you love about them most, okay? Write down, number 1, the most important people and what you love about them most. The second thing, I want you to start writing down what you're grateful for. And then after that, we're gonna have a few minutes to where we just pray for those people, okay? So we're gonna start a timer. And Bobby's starting it now. Go. Okay, start a timer. All right, and I'm gonna be quiet for 5 minutes. I might lead you in case you might be forgetting what's going on. All right, so step 1, write down the most important people in your life and what you're grateful, what you love about them most. when you're writing this down about the people that you love most, take away any expectation for these people, okay? Don't be upset at them about stuff. Don't be thinking about, well, I do love them, but they don't support me in my business. Or I do love them, but they think this paint party thing is stupid, or blah, blah, blah. Don't think about that. Just at this moment, it's just all about gratitude. If you're in a place right now where they are just driving you bananas, but you know they're the most important person in your life, then think about when you first met them. Think about how you felt when you first fell in love with them. Think about your children, your grandchildren. Think about your best friend, whoever that is, okay? Remember, after you write what you love most about these people, then just start a list, just bullet point what you're grateful for. Just as many things as you're grateful for. Are you grateful for a beautiful day today? Are you grateful for being able to go to lunch with your kid? Or, I mean, I don't know, whatever it is. It can be the tiniest things or it can be big things. So just real quick, just bullet point down things that you're grateful for. Okay. I'm going to give y'all 2 more minutes to bullet point what you are grateful for. Okay. Oh, I could use the iPad. Thanks. Okay, so as y'all are writing down your list of everything that you're grateful for, I would love for y'all to just put in the comments maybe one or two that you're grateful for. I just want y'all to like explode this thread right now of comments of gratitude. So if y'all could just put what the things that you're grateful for and just start putting them in there. Remember, put them in there. Just put them in there. Some of mine is God's love, the possibility, fall fun. Oh my gosh, from Texas, we don't have leaves really that change color that much. And so it's been kind of cool. Kathy, yes. Yeah, there's probably going to be some tears through this. I already have my tissues ready. So I've already started crying, I think, through the prayer at the beginning. So we have Kelly saying husband, a home, Karen saying a home, Jody saying being alive and healthy, Amanda says my children, Leslie says family, Leslie, finding Heidi, thank you. Deb says God's love watching over me and my family. Tammy says gratitude makes you have all you need. Yes. Monique says my life, my family. Oh, and those sweet boys of yours. Cheryl says my husband. Alicia says grateful for Heidi, for being loved, for grace, for forgiveness. My husband is so dedicated to God and our family, from Francine. Wendy, support I'm getting from family and friends, grateful for Jesus. Deborah says, Leslie says, God led me. Julie, loving, supportive family. Students, Kathy says, oh my gosh, just so many things. So y'all can see all of the comments. Guys, the reason I wanted to start out with gratitude is because we can't get anywhere if we're not going to be appreciative of what we have first. It's so in this world of, if you get on Facebook, if you get on any social media platform anywhere, it is so it can be so negative. Everything can be so negative, and everything can play into so much fear. So what I wanted to do first is I wanted to start from a place of prayer, from a place of thanksgiving, from a place of gratitude. So yes, during this process, if you have tears, let the tears come. Don't be afraid of that. Don't be scared of that, because what I want you to do by the end of this time together is I want you to see that there's hope, there's possibility, but there's also, during the midst of this, there's been times in my life where I was building my business so much that I did not have the right, I still struggle with balance, and I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I have all that figured out, because I don't, because I think because I love what I do so much, it's so hard to not do it because I love it so much. But you have to remember, as you build this business, as you build this life, as you create these goals, you don't want to look back, 5 years from now and go, man, I really became successful, or I did all of these really cool things, but I don't have Bobby or Pixie or my family to show for it. So the reason we started this with gratitude is because we want to always remember that you've got to put gratitude without expectation on our families, without this crazy expectation of, well, I'm doing this, so you need to do that, or whatever that looks like. A lot of times people will, they'll get in a place of resentment because their family isn't supporting them. And here's what I say to that. I say, go teach a paint party, bring home $400 cash, and they're going to wonder okay, how did you do that? They're going to start supporting you. Or all of a sudden you have, you sell a ton of porch leaners, and now you're like, hey, let's go on a weekend vacation. And your husband's like, we can't do that. And you're like, yes, we can. I have this, or whatever that looks like. There's been times, and that's what's going to lead us to next. And here in a minute is the forgiveness part. Because what we do so many times, and I'm human and I've done it too, is we put all these expectations on ourselves, and then we also put all of these expectations on our family and other people. And remember, guys, people will always fail us. People will always fail us, but God's never going to fail us. So I learned this lesson years ago, And we were going to church. I didn't grow up really going to church that much, just here and there. And we were at a church, and there was a huge church split. And it was before we moved to Florida. I think I was 19, 20 years old. I was really, really young. And, we were there every Sunday morning. We were there Sunday night. We were there Wednesday night. We led youth groups. We were doing all of these crazy, crazy things, like as much involved as we could. And then this huge church split happened, and it was a little bitty church, so everybody knew everybody. It was like maybe 90 people total at this church, old country church. And I remember them like kicking out the pastor of that church, and I remember just being so devastated. I remember like going home one day. We lived in a trailer, the snake trailer. If you've ever heard of my stories about me living in the trailer with snakes, not pet snakes, like snakes that came into our trailer. And I remember coming home and just like crying so hard, because I was like, how could Christian people do that? How could Christian people do that to their family? How could people call themselves Christians and do that? And then, shortly after we moved to Florida, I was like, I just want to get away from all this. All these people that I had put my faith in, which I shouldn't have, it destroyed me. It destroyed my heart. It destroyed the way I thought about church. It destroyed even the way I thought about Christians. It just put this like hole in my heart. Like, how could we treat each other that bad? Like, how could we do that to each other? And it took me years to finally realize, you cannot put your faith in people. You have to put your faith in God, always. And so that led me just down this whole thing to where, whether you go to church or you don't go to church. The other day we were at a friend of the family's. There was a funeral, and so last week? I think the weeks are blurring, but last week, and there were a couple of ladies. And one of the ladies was kind of getting on to one of the other ladies for not showing up at church. And they were friends, and I get that. But it just kind of in my heart kind of like stung a little, because I was like, you know what? Like, yes, God wants us in church. I'm not saying he doesn't. But it's about your relationship with God. It's about your relationship with Jesus. It's about what you're doing. They don't know that. And I think that we have got to take those judgments away from each other. We have got to take those expectations away from each other, because nobody knows what each other is going through. And everybody's going through something. We can sit here and say, poor me, I've got the worst situation on the planet and nobody understands. I promise you there's somebody else that has a situation just as bad, or if not worse. And so we've got to stop putting those expectations on people. And so those ladies, even though they were trying to be sweet, but they were making these comments to her, a little bit later, I just kind of was like, when it's your time, it's your time. Like if she's like, I'm struggling with some stuff right now. And I was like, you know what? I was like, God knows what you're doing. And I think as long as you're going to God about this, that's all that matters. And so, my family has been very, we'll go to church, and then we'll have times, especially with COVID. How many of y'all have gotten out of the habit because of COVID, right? And so that doesn't mean that my relationship with God and my writings and prayers to God has stopped. No, that doesn't mean that. If I'm not at a building, do I want to be at the building? Yes, of course. Am I going to judge other people for not going to church? Never, ever, ever. So the same thing with our business. We want to make sure that if our family or friends are not supporting what we're doing, that we are not determining our life because of something else somebody has said, okay? We're not determining whether or not we're going to move forward with our goals and our dreams because somebody else is saying something. The reason this is so important, and please hear me, is when you get so excited. How many of y'all out there have been so freaking excited about an idea? Or, maybe you're going to, be done with this here in a few hours and you're going to be so excited about your next step, right? But here's what happens is we get all excited, then we go tell somebody else and we're like, we're like, oh my gosh, and this, and I learned this, and I learned this, and I learned this. Well, guess what? They're going to look at you like you're a crazy person, number one. And number two, they're probably going to, because of their self-doubts, it always has to do with them. So there has been many, many times in my life where I had an idea, something I wanted to do, something I thought was going to be great, this huge vision, this what I felt like God laid on my heart. And then I went and told somebody, and within a few seconds, they totally bursted my bubble. Has anybody had that happen? So here's how I remedy that, okay? I write it to God. I co-create with God. A lot of the things that Bobby doesn't even know are in these pages written to God. So if you have not started journaling and writing your prayers to God, I strongly recommend that. That does not need to be for everybody. It is okay to have a huge idea, a huge vision, a huge plan, a huge dream, and not share it. It's okay to work on that and not share it with everybody. Not everybody gets to know what I'm excited about in doing this, because it seriously, guys, sometimes people are going to put you down for it. And I think the reason why I've been able to keep going, yes, Bobby is the most supportive person ever. But when I come with him with crazy ideas, he'll go, that's interesting. Like he'll just do this. But then there's other things that I have in my head that I'm like, I'm not ready to share that with anybody yet. Because, first off, I need to make sure it's right and that God wants that to happen and I feel it's supposed to happen. But it is okay to not share everything with everybody. Know that it's okay, all right? So we've appreciated people, even the people who have failed us. And that's okay. We have failed people, okay? So what I want you now to do, is everybody doing okay on this so far? Just give me a heart or a thumbs up if everybody's still with me. Okay, so the next section is gonna be pretty fun. Okay, so what do you want? Okay, it's hard to know where you are going if you don't know where you are. And it's equally hard to know what you want if you have never really given yourself time to dream, okay? So during this time right now, I'm gonna set the time for 5 minutes. And again, you can always come back to this stuff. And I also added in some quotes randomly that, not random quotes, but quotes that I thought went well with what was going on, because this is the book I put together for y'all. It says, no matter what you're facing, you have what it takes to figure out anything and become the person you're meant to be. That's by Marie Forleo. She has a book that she just wrote. Everything is figure-outable. I don't know how to say that. But what I want you to do, how many of y'all on here have never, like you have been the caretaker, you have been the mom, you have been the spouse, you have been, if a guy's watching, you've been the husband. How many of y'all in here have just never taken time to go like, what do I really want? Like, how many of y'all have been that person? So right now I want you to be selfish, okay? I don't want you to I'm not gonna think about what Bobby wants. I'm not gonna think about what Pixie wants. I'm not gonna think about what my parents want. I'm not gonna think about what my siblings want. I'm not gonna think about what my friends want. I am only thinking about what I want, okay? I want you to do that right now. So I want you to be selfish. I'm gonna all of y'all are like, me. Yes, it's very, very true. So many times we do that. We think about what everybody else wants, okay? A quick little story. So I finally got my teeth filled in right here. I'm gonna show you my teeth. This is random, but it goes with this. Okay, so right here, all of this area. So at night, I grind my teeth so bad, okay? So Bobby needs a lot of dental work. Pixie, as you know, has braces and has had so much dental stuff. We've had to pay for so much with braces. She's missing a tooth right here that, is going to cost a small fortune. Just so many things that are on, let me see real quick. Hey, Bobby. Can you get a hold of your mom? She said there's a few people saying they can't get in the lives. The live's going good. The live's working, but people can't get in. So I don't know if you want this phone for that. But the reason I'm telling you this is, so Bobby, here's Bobby. I'm talking about your teeth.
Really personal.
That's personal. We're getting personal. Yeah, y'all, if y'all are coming live, stare at Bobby's teeth. I'm just kidding. Okay, so when I would go to the dentist, so we all go to the same dentist, and we have this awesome dental hygienist who, like, you know, does all of our teeth. Well, Bobby, you know, has like $20-something thousand worth of stuff that needs to be done. Some people just have really, like, doesn't matter what you do, some people just have worse teeth than others. Well, he was blessed with teeth that, you know, get cavities easier. Yeah, we're talking about your teeth. Anyway, the story about it is he has a huge bill for that we're working on, that we're trying to get checked off. And then Pixie has braces and all of that. Well, I grind my teeth really bad at night. And so what has happened is the tops of all of these teeth have literally like had space, like all the way down. Well, I finally last week, like every time I went to the dentist, I would say, well, do Pixie's first, do Bobby's first, get his thing first. Like I would always put them first. And I'd say, I can just deal with it. Like I'll be fine. Just let me know when mine's too bad, right? Well, it's been getting worse and worse because I grind so bad at night and I have to get a mouth guard, which is real sexy, right? So anyway, so I finally got the teeth filled in, like, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like I have teeth up here. It was so cool. But I mean, I've been waiting years. I have been waiting years to get this done because I was putting Bobby and Pixie first. So I know a lot of you do the same thing. So right now for the next 5 minutes, I want you to be selfish and I want you to write what you want, out of what you want. It doesn't have to be business related. It can be totally personal. I think a lot of times when we write it down, it's not private jets and helicopters like most people say. It's usually like health for my family. Like I want to be fully healthy. I want my family to be fully healthy. I want to paddleboard in clear water. Like that's like one of my huge goals. Things like that. So I want you right now to be selfish. And I want you for the next 5 minutes to just write down every single thing that you want out of life. Don't think of money. Don't think of time. Don't think of age. Don't think of anything. Just think of what do I want, okay? So we're gonna give you 5 minutes and just write it down fast. Nobody has to see it. Just what do you want? Not what does your family want? What do you want, okay? All right, ready, set, go. You might need to flip a page. Just keep writing. A couple more minutes. And this process for some of you may be hard right now because you've never done it. But once you do it a few times, you'll start to realize the things that you really want. So, you know, mine always seems to circle back to good health. And it always seems to circle back to being around clear water. It just always, I think God made me part mermaid. I don't know. But when you're doing this, like if it feels kind of hard and if it feels a little selfish, I want you to remember, like, this is part of the process. We were grateful, and now we're thinking about things, just your wildest, craziest dreams. Like, what do you want? And don't worry about feeling selfish about this. This is about, like, you can't make things happen in your life unless you start to write them down. So get over that. Take that out of your head and just seriously, like, do you want to go on a trip? Do you want to, you know, I don't know, buy yourself a new pair of boots? Like, that's, I'm gonna write that one down right now. Okay, so who wants to share? If you want to share, you don't have to, but if you would like to type in, I just want you to flood the comments with things that you want selfishly, okay? It's okay. This is your time to be selfish. This is your time to flood the comments with what you want. So what is one thing that you want? You can write one or two. I just want to kind of read some of them off. One of mine is to have a great cup of coffee every single morning. I love coffee. Did you say amen? And Wendy, to have the freedom to go skiing on weekdays. Oh, wow. A vacation. Let's see, Monique, hot air balloon ride. Oh my gosh, it'd be so fun. Dana says, my grandparents' old lake house back. Oh, what a great dream. You can make that happen. Angel says, I want to be hugely successful. I want a Corvette. Oh, that's awesome. I used to have a 1976 black Corvette with T-tops. It was so gorgeous. Kelly says, to pay off all our debt and build a new, larger house so we can host our family for holidays and events. And Jody says, I want to be creative and to be my sole income. Anastasia moved to Hawaii. Tammy says financial stability for Ryan, son with disability, and our retirement. Yvette says happiness, a good marriage, art studio. And Minetta says financial freedom, good health to travel. Trudy says clear the clutter. I need to do that. And Tony says I want to help build a virtual art business. Deb says to be able to paint anytime I want and not have to work a regular job. Aletha says, I want to be able to take my entire family to Israel and other yearly trips. Oh my gosh, y'all have so many great dreams and goals. Belinda says, I want to lose weight, get a house, keep 2 a month, an organized home, a well-landscaped yard, get out of the desert, Julie says. Let me write something down real quick. Kelly says, to be able to quit my full-time job and have the freedom to work for myself and make more money than I'm making now. Upstairs studio with tons of light, Tammy says. To earn an actual paycheck for my paint party business, Francine says, and not just enough funds for coming in for the business to pay the bills. Yes, that's a great goal. Aletha says to buy a beach cottage. Cheryl, fly in an airplane to visit my son and his family. Leslie, to have my dream home, a barn dominium. Those are so cool. Yearly vacation. Dana says, beautiful home, nice car, Disney Vacation Club. And Bayla says to feel like I'm making an impact. I love that. Let me take a drink. I'm going to try not to lose my voice during this. Okay, y'all start reading all the rest of those. They're all coming. Becky says, I'd like to be able to earn enough money to not have to worry about paying my bills. Kim, I want to go to Italy. I want more confidence. Let's see. Valerie says, be successful artist. Everyone knows. Have a cute veggie garden area. Skinny again and wear cute clothes. Amazing craft room and a hubby to be cancer free. That's so, so powerful. Dana says, travel to dream places. Oh my gosh, y'all have so many. Oh my gosh, there's so many. I can't even see them all. Okay, so here's the thing too. So a lot of times, you know, especially whenever people come to paint party headquarters or something like that, or they're learning from me, or they'll say like, you know, should I quit my job? Should I do this and just go for it? You know, I'm always that person that I'm like, I will never tell you just go quit a full-time job if that's what's paying your bills. I will never be that person. And the reason why is because I'm a person, because we lost everything and we went bankrupt. If you didn't know that, surprise, we lost everything and literally everything. And so so I'm always that person that I'm going to, Debbie, I'm with you. I want a glitter shower now too. I've got, that's on my list. Let me write that down. Gold glitter shower. Bobby! We'll put it somewhere else. We'll put like an area where it's just for me and Big C. Okay, so my thought is so I'll never be the person that's like, quit your day job, everything's gonna be okay, because entrepreneurship is not for the weak. It's not. It is the best self-help development course you're ever gonna take. You're going to learn things about yourself that you never ever knew about yourself. You're going to find things about yourself that you like, that you don't like, that you wanna change, because things will come to the surface. For example, tech issues. You know, I can't get this to work. I'm trying to get this to work and now I can't figure it out. Like all of those things, right? But here's what I like to tell people. Here's what I love to tell people. So like, for example, was it Lori that said she wants to move out of the desert? So I always think of things in 5 years, okay? So if, for example, if she wants to move, I think it was Julie. If Julie wants to move out of the desert and she wants to be in a different location, I always think like, why wait forever to do those kinds of things? Think about the things you're doing right now. Is there a way you can transfer a job? If you're already doing paint parties and working for yourself, is there a way you can start to move that business to the area you want to be? I always think if you want to be somewhere in 5 years, stop putting it off in 5 years to start thinking about how you want it to happen, okay? With that being said, I also want to preface that with I'm never going to be the person that says, quit your full-time job, it'll all be fine, you know, money will just start rolling in, blah, blah, blah. I'll never be that person. I'm the person who I'll work full-time as a teacher, I'll do paint parties full-time as a, you know, while I'm teaching, and then as that grows, that's what I did. I, you know, worked full-time as a school teacher, and then as my paint party business got bigger and bigger, then I actually quit full-time teaching, which people thought I was totally psycho for doing. Then I quit that job. Then I went part-time teaching as I continually built my paint party business. Then eventually, as I still had this job that was making pennies, but barely, it was still making stuff, I was doing my paint parties full blast. And then I started stepping into online stuff. How can I help other people do this, right? Because people kept asking. A lot of the times the things that you're supposed to do in business are right in front of your face because people are asking you all the time. How are you doing that? How are you doing that? You're really good at that. How are you doing that? And that's usually a huge indicator that maybe I should be teaching that. So I think of that, like if there's something big I want in 5 years, why wait 5 years? Why not start, if there's a way, Julie, and I'm sorry if I'm saying the wrong person, but if she's wanting out of the desert, how can she start making that happen by the end of next year or the end of 6 months? Like start putting a plan in place, okay? Okay, so the next part, this part is very important, okay? So remember, we're talking about forgiveness, possibility, and action, okay? Forgiveness. And I put on here too a Dolly Parton quote. I'm going to read that first. It says, I think, and I'm going to try to go back and read all of these comments. So if I miss some of your comments, I'm really, really sorry. And they're coming through fast and furious. And I also want to make sure I have plenty of time to walk you through all of this. So it says, I thank God for my failures. Maybe not at the time, but after some reflection, I never feel like a failure just because something I tried has failed. Dolly Parton said that, okay? And we're better to dream big and forgive ourselves than the Dolly Parton Suite, right? This is the best place to do that. So I want to tell you, we're going to talk about forgiveness, and we're talking about forgiveness with ourselves. And the reason why is because a lot of times we have started businesses that we think because we started it, now we can't do it because we failed. And again, that goes back to that beginning where we have our family and maybe they don't support us, right? So your past does not equal your future. You are not your patterns, okay? Your past does not equal your future, and you are not your patterns. What do you need to let go of to move forward? What have you tried in the past that didn't work out and you are holding on to that fear? Okay, so I'm just going to tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of I have failed so many times. So many times, okay? I'm just going to tell you 5 that I have failed at, and some of them are pretty recent. So a long time ago, not recent, but Mary Kay. I tried to sell Mary Kay. Anybody in here try to sell Mary Kay? Some of you may be doing a great job at it. I sucked. I actually, the Mary Kay lady had the Mary Kay car, and I told her I'd park it for her. I ended up hitting it on a gate, dented the freaking Mary Kay car. So that was a fun day. Number 2, me and Pixie, I totally forgot about this. I was trying to sell grat tats, okay? I've always been really big into gratitude, and I've always been, Dana earned a car with Mary Kay. Well, I'm glad I didn't wreck your car. So, I think so many of us have tried that. Some of y'all have probably done very well at that. Well, one year I decided I was going to do gratitude tats, right? I don't have any tattoos, but I love like writing on myself, and I love putting fake tattoos on. And so I ordered all of these tattoos. I hand drew them all. They were beautiful. They were all about gratitude and family, and I tried to sell them, and it was a total bust, total bomb. And me and Pixie were riding around the other day, and we were talking about it, and she goes, remember that time when you were doing grat tats? And we just started laughing, and I was like, yeah, like there's so many little businesses that I thought, this is gonna be it, this is gonna be big, this is gonna be so cool, right? And then I remember paintvault.net. Does anybody remember way back when I started paintvault.net? I can't even say it. It's such a stupid name for it. And basically my plan was, the biggest part of doing paint parties was I needed new paintings all the time. I was working full time. I was teaching paint parties full time. I mean, I was, going crazy, and I needed new paintings, and I thought other people need new paintings. And it kind of has led, paint party headquarters is like paintvault.net on steroids. Paint Party Headquarters has everything and more. But paintvault.net was I spent a week of my life building a website, which I was so proud of. And then I put it out there and not one person purchased. It was like a huge, huge failure. Like I just felt like a loser. And I remember selling essential oils. Okay, I love Young Living. I buy Young Living every single month. But for like an entire year, I went off track and thought, oh, now I'm going to sell oils. And then people started asking me about oils. And then I realized I could care less about talking about oils. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to tell people what they need to use. Like, that's not my passion. What I'm doing right now and teaching paint parties, this is my passion. I could talk about this stuff till I'm blue in the face. But when I started, getting questions about it, I was like, I don't want to talk about that. Like, yeah, I want to use them, but I don't want to talk about them. So you have to be really clear, because you can be really great at something, but you might, you can be really for example, I get contacted all the time because especially now that my Facebook following that has grown, I get contacted for every single product. Well, Heidi, sell this, or Heidi, push this product. And y'all know I do not ever say anything about a product unless I totally use it and I totally support it. And I don't even sell Young Living and I totally use it and support it, because again, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about Young Living oils, okay? I did a detox plan. Anybody ever do a detox plan or a diet plan and totally fail? So I was, wanting to feel better, and I thought, okay, I'm going to do this detox plan. I spent like $120 something for all these shakes. I get it in the box, this big old box, and I realized that now I got to, in my busy life, try to figure out how to put all these together. So we had a local place. This was just recently, like probably 3 months ago, and it wasn't for weight reasons at all. I don't feel like I need to lose weight. It was more for just wanting to feel better, like just feel better in my body, clean out any toxins, just kind of feel better. And so I went to a local place, and I said, hey, it was like it's like a little store in our town. And I said, hey, do you mind taking this recipe and actually making all of the meals for the next 5 days, have them ready. I'll just come pick them up. I'll pay you to have them ready. I come pick them up, and first off, the shakes were so gross. I couldn't even drink them. Secondly, the salads I was supposed to have were totally, they didn't put any of the lettuce. They literally just put the vegetables, and then I was supposed to go get all the lettuce and all of that. And so I spent all this money, then I spent all of this money as well to get somebody to put it all together, and then none of it happened. And I ended up throwing almost all of it out because it was disgusting. And so, that's just 1, 2, 3, 4, that's just 5 times that I have failed. And I promise you, I have failed hundreds of times at other things. And so what I want you to do right now on this forgiveness part is I want you to write down stuff that maybe, what do you need to let go of? So I want you right now, and I see tons of y'all, been there, done that. You've gone into maybe you went into the Mary Kay or the essential oils, or the one I get contacted about all the time. And I'm like, please, people, stop texting me. Sometimes I don't even respond. Is the pink drink, whatever that one is. I get contacted about that one all the time. I'm like, please, people, stop contacting me about that. And so the thing is you can get sucked into that. You can go, oh yeah, I need to do that. But wait a minute. I really just want to paint. I really love art. I really love this. You got to figure out what you love. Once you have that confidence and that drive of what you love so much, when people are coming at me 1,000 miles an hour going, what about this? What about, I'm so strong and confident now on what I feel like my purpose is that I can easily go, thanks, but no thanks. Nope, thank you, I appreciate it. I appreciate what you're doing, but no, that's not for me. So I want you right now to forgive yourself, okay? So what do you need to write down in here to forgive yourself? So I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. Mine is spending money and then not using the product. because I feel bad if I've wasted money or time. I hate wasting time. That's why I don't want to waste your time here. So I truly value you spending time with me and taking time to do this. So I want you to write down, what do you need to let go of to move forward? You can literally write yourself right now what failures you've had and let them go. Literally let them go. Did you spend money on Shakeology? I don't know. Did you spend money on doing that? I don't know. Maybe you're a person who likes to shop. I love to shop for clothes. That's like, you know, whenever, especially when I had no money and I just wanted to go shopping for clothes and I couldn't afford it. And so we would go to, like, you know, when I was married, you know, newly married, I'm still married. When I was newly married, you know, I'd go to Goodwill, places like that, and I'd find really cool stuff. And so, you know, now that I do have money, it's like when I go to Target and I want that t-shirt, I buy it. And so what are some things that you need to let go of that maybe you've spent money on that you shouldn't have, or whatever? Like, you have to forgive yourself for that, because you're not going to be able to move forward on all those awesome dreams that you just talked about if you're holding guilt on yourself. And I want to ask you a question. Would you look at your friend? Would you look at your daughter? Would you look at your son? Would you look at your spouse? Maybe some of y'all would on your spouse, and hopefully you're letting go a little bit of that, those expectations. But would you look at them and sit there and be upset about them, about stuff they did a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago? Right? Like, you gotta let it go. So they're not hopefully looking at you. And maybe that's why some of them are, like, you're like, my family doesn't have, you know, they're not supportive. Well, maybe in the past they've seen you, like me, do Young Living and then it didn't work because I wasn't passionate about it. Or do Mary Kay, or you went through another direct sales marketing thing, or you spent a bunch of money on a diet because you were gonna, you know, lose all this weight and then it didn't work out, right? Like, whatever it is, you've got to forgive yourself for this stuff, okay? Because you would not look at hopefully you're not looking at your friends or your family and going, oh, look at them trying again. They're not going to get it this time because they didn't get it the last time. Like, hopefully we're learning in our heart not to look at people that way, not to go, well, they're just going to try it, but they're not going to do it. No, don't be that person. You got to let it go, and you got to let other people live their life. Because if you're seriously waiting on just their expectations and you're doing your decisions based on other people, you're going to have a very, very, very big regret whenever you get older. So whatever age you are, I don't care if you're 89 years old right now and you're watching this, that you still have a breath. You're still able to have goals and dreams and make things happen. So I want you to start writing out right now, you know, I forgive myself for this. I'm letting it go because I know I cannot move forward unless I stop thinking about the past mistakes. Because entrepreneurship is literally failure after failure after failure after failure. And you've got to know that that's part of the process, or you're not going to get very far. If you fail once and you're like, dang it, this doesn't work, oh my gosh, you're not going to get very far, okay? Because you've got to start getting comfortable with failure. You've got to start laughing about it, okay? So I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I want you to write out, like, I forgive myself. I know this happened. I'm letting it go. All right, so let's go ahead and set the timer and go for it. You might need 2 pages. Okay, 1 more minute. Remember, you're writing down anything you want to forgive yourself for. Okay, so on the next page, and if you want to share one thing you've forgiven yourself for, you can share. One of the things that I have forgiven myself for is I am not a cook, so I don't cook at all. And a lot of times we're eating either takeout or frozen food, which for those of you that are blessed with the cooking ability, I so wish I had that, and I do want to work on that. But, you know, I feel bad sometimes because, you know, Pixie I hear that, you know, she's doing the fork into the frozen food and throwing it in the microwave so she can get her dinner. And sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to be a better mom when it comes to that. So I think we all have things that we know we feel short, like we fall short of. But we have to forgive ourselves. And I know that me, you know, I always make the joke, like, I'm just prepping you for college, you know? So like, I know there's things that we fall short of, and there's things that we have to remember that it's okay, and to forgive yourself. So I have 2 full pages of stuff that I've written. So you can literally, if you want, you don't have to share, but you could share one of your items and I'll read it. I'll read a few of y'all's. Tony says, I forgive myself for being a hermit and not putting myself out there. Yeah, and that's okay. We're, you know, some of us are introverted, some of us are extroverted. Para says, my husband is a chef, and if he didn't cook, we wouldn't eat. I know, we are definitely, we have our favorite frozen food all the time. And then I'll read 2 more. Samantha says, not following through. Yeah, that's okay. And Gabrielle says, I forgive myself for beating myself up so much. That's a big one. Yeah, and this next one, guys, I want y'all, so right here it says, you know, in the book, Jennifer says, I forgive myself for giving up before I start. Yes, these are so good. Vicki, I forgive myself for looking for comfort from outside sources, other people, food, recognition. Oh, that's a great one. Eva says, I forgive myself for going into self-pity mode instead of taking action. Great, that's a good one. Tony, I forgive myself for letting fear win out so much. Y'all, these are all so good, and it's so important to know that it's okay. And this next section, it says, you know, Dolly Parton's quote, it says, you'll never do a whole lot unless you're brave enough to try, okay? And Tony says it took her a year to do a Facebook Live. And that's okay. You're doing it though. You're still ahead of most of the world out there. Blame placing. Yes, forgive yourself for blame placing. Getting in your own way, Amanda says. Yeah, all those things. Forgive yourself. Let them go. So I heard this, and I love this quote. So this says, this actually when I did a lot of y'all know back in July, I did it was like a 4-day event. It might have been 5 days, a Tony Robbins UPW event. And he talked about pain is certain, but suffering is a choice. And this hit me to my core. I'm going to read it again. Pain is certain, but suffering is a choice. So what he talked about in that is he talked about how we all are going through pain, whether it's a death in the family, a sickness. So many people have health issues. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when we're going to have these trials or these things happen. So pain is certain. So we're all, God never says this life is just going to be easy. We're all going to have pain. But suffering is a choice. And I want you to hear this very, very loud and clear, okay? We all have pain. Everybody. If you are walking around wherever you are at, if you go to Walmart, if you go to Target, if you go to the grocery store, wherever you're at, people are having pain. They may not be saying it. Some, you can probably see it on them more than others. There's other people walking around, happy, smiling, good morning, how you doing, doing their thing. But sometimes people think that those people don't have pain too, that they don't have suffering, that they don't have things they're going through. And when he said this, he talked about pain is certain, but suffering is a choice. The reason I want you to hear this so bad is because we're gonna go through pain, but it's the way we choose to deal with it is what is most important. That's what's gonna show your character. Does it mean that you're gonna get it right every time? No. Does it mean that you're going to be able to master it right away? No. But suffering is a choice. So when I wake up every day and I have, again, we all have our things we're going through. I can wake up every day and I can forgive myself for all the failures I've had in the past. I can go, okay, maybe I haven't been the best with feeding my family, or maybe I haven't been the best with going for walks when I need to, because I know that's what I need to do for my health, because I sit a lot and paint or work on the computer. I need to forgive myself and know every single day I can take a different action. Or I can wake up every day and suffer. I can wake up every single day and go, yep, this is how it's gonna be. This is the cards that have been dealt, and this is how I'm gonna deal with it. Today I'm gonna choose that. Guys, we do not have to do that. Every single day you have a choice. In the Bible, it talks about his mercies are new every day. Every day before you get out of bed, don't grab your cell phone and start checking your emails and comparing yourself to everybody on Facebook. You literally have got to take a moment, get a journal, write to God, say a prayer, whatever it is, and stop living and suffering, okay? Every single day you have that choice. So do I want to get up and go, well, I didn't follow through on that Mary Kay thing I did, so I guess I'm screwed for life? No, you have got to get over that. You have got to forgive yourself. You have got to go, okay, the past does not dictate my future. We all have pain. The thing that I didn't realize for a long time is, I was kind of, I think somebody mentioned earlier, the pity thing. For a long time, I used to think if something was happening to me, I was the only one that it was happening to. I'm the only one that's got it bad, right? And then I realized, no, every single person has something that's going on in their lives. And when we stop looking at just us, when we stop looking at, oh, poor me, only me, I'm the only one dealing with, there's nobody else out there that's dealing with this. And I know we all have different levels of what we're dealing with. But when you choose to look outward at other people, when you choose to help other people through what pain you're going through, there is something switches, something changes. The reason I love paint parties so much is because it gets me out of my crap and it has me serving other people. And when I'm at a paint party, I am the happiest because I'm talking to other people. I'm learning about their lives. I'm not thinking about any of the crap that's going on with me. I'm not sad about what's going on. I remember in 2016, some of y'all know this, they found a hole in my heart and I had to get a surgery. Well, now I have this metal device, and it was the same time my dad was going through his heart transplant. Well, I remember going to the doctor that day. I'd been doing, all kinds of stuff. I found out, I had to do some kind of procedure where they went to check to see if I could get the device into the heart. It was just crazy esophagus. I mean, I felt like a science experiment for several months. And they found the hole in the heart. And I remember after that procedure, I said, well, I have a paint party tonight. Am I still okay to do everything? And they said, yes, that's fine. Just, take it easy, be careful. Well, I had left that doctor's appointment, and it was about a 40-minute drive home, and I cried almost the whole way home. And then I had all my stuff packed for the paint party, and I went into the paint party, and immediately, it was like a switch. Immediately, the focus took off of all my crap that I was dealing with, off of everything that I was so scared about and not sure what was going to happen, to we're going to paint. We're going to paint and we're going to have fun, and I am here to help them. And because I took that focus off of me and put it onto them, my whole outlook changed. My whole world changed. And so I want y'all to know every day, yes, we all have pain. It's certain. We cannot get away from that. But suffering is a choice, okay? So on this page right here, and I know we're getting deep, we're gonna go into the possibility and action here in a minute. But what I want you to do is a lot of you have these beliefs embedded in your core. Like, they are so embedded in your core. And mine for a lot of time was I wasn't worthy to receive the gifts God's been giving me. For so many years. We have struggled. We have, every time I went to the grocery store, I had to check my bank account, and I had to make sure I had enough money to get what I was supposed to get. And I had to put stuff back on the shelves. So many times I've had those moments. And so when God started blessing, me and my family with this abundance of money, I'm just going to be very transparent with y'all. I was an anxiety-ridden mess, and I went to therapy, and I went to this lady I've seen a few times, and anybody else doesn't go to therapy? I like therapy. And so I went to therapy, and I was telling her what was going on, and I was like, I feel like, my whole life I have been, struggling, and now I'm in this place where God has given me everything I have dreamed and prayed for and asked for. And I feel like this. I feel like, how dare I accept this? Like, I felt like this not being worthy. Like, who am I to get this? Like, how dare I? And it really got to me because I think, here I am, saying dream big. God wants us to have this. And I had so much anxiety around all the gifts he was giving me. And so I go to this therapist, and she said, Heidi, of course, if you have an abundance of money and you didn't before, you're going to feel uncomfortable, because it's not normal. It's not your normal, right? And people can self-sabotage. And she said, what you need to do is you need to ask God for forgiveness for the anxiety and the worry that you've had over everything he's given you. Just like if Angel, for example, or Jade was going to give me a present, would I dare go, oh no, Jade, no, Angel, not taking your present. That's awful. How dare you give me that present, right? We would never do that. We would go, Jade, thank you so much for this present. Oh, they're earrings. I'm going to put them on right now, right? We would be so happy. We would be so thankful for that present. And here it was, God, giving me, a chance to go to the grocery store and buy Tostitos and Tide and not have to look at my bank account. And then I was being non-accepting of this gift, right? And so the reason I share that very, very personal story with you is because I had this deep embedded feeling of not being worthy. And I want you to know that I know a lot of you out there are having this deep embedded feeling of not being worthy, not being enough, not feeling like it's okay to have abundance, not feeling like it's okay to have God's grace on you. And I want y'all to know that it's okay, that God wants to give us, just like, I think of Pixie asking for something for Christmas. Do I want to get that for her for Christmas? Of course. She's my child. I love her. I want to spoil her at Christmas, just like you want to spoil your children at Christmas, or you want to, give Christmas presents to a neighbor. So I wanted to share that with you. And so and this page right here, let's dig a little deeper. I want you to kind of write down, what are you holding on to that you have to let go? So my big one, and again, yours may be different, but my big one that I let go of, and once I let go, and anytime I feel like, oh my gosh, we've been blessed with so much. Anytime I feel that and I start to get that anxiety, I go, thank you, God. Thank you, God, so much for this gift. Thank you, God, for what you're doing with us. And, how can I, bring glory to you through this? So I want y'all right now to write down, what is the belief that's embedded in your core? Is it you don't feel worthy? Is it you don't feel like you're enough? Do you feel like people are going to look at you strange? Like, write that down, and then we're going to move on to something pretty cool. I'm going to give you just 1 minute for that. Yes, Jennifer. Yeah, not feel worthy. Yeah, that was my big one. And once you realize that we are a child of God and we are worthy, things can change. Yeah, Belinda says, not good enough, not worthy, don't deserve better. And you do. You really do. And then I put in here 1 Peter 5:7, cast all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. It's easier said than done, right? we always say, give it to God. And how many times we're like, well, let's just keep that on our backs, right? Aletha says rejection. Barb says too old to start over. That's not true, Barb. Not true. Rejection is a big one. Rejection, I know that's one of the biggest fears people have, is rejection. And Debbie says anxiety and worthiness. Yeah. Okay, so here's the next thing. Okay, so we have gone through a lot already this morning, and I just want to say, so we have forgiven ourselves of our failures. We have to forgive ourselves of our failures. We have to let it go. But right now, I want you to thank yourself. Thank yourself for trying stuff, because the people who are not trying are the ones that are not going to get anywhere. Like I said, I have failed hundreds and hundreds, probably into the thousands of times. And a lot of times people look at a business or a life and they think, oh, well, it just happened. Guys, nothing just happens like that. It doesn't. And so what I want you to do is just remember that all of these failures, all of this forgiveness, I want you right now to thank yourself for being brave enough. So everybody give yourselves a pat on the back. Pat on the back, okay? Give yourselves a pat on the back for having the courage to have all of those failures, right? Because if you weren't having those failures, you weren't even trying. You weren't even in the game. You weren't even in the game to try. So I think it's important. I'm going to read this out because I wrote this out for y'all. It says, forgive yourself for failures and thank yourself for having the courage to try things that may have led to failure. That's a good thing, okay? The only ones that don't make their goals, their dreams, and happy life is those that are not trying. If you look at life and what makes you happy, it's usually when you are making progress in some area. It's not when you're stagnant. It's a constant moving target of learning to be better, do better, and take on challenges. Yes, they may scare you, but ultimately show you how much more life has to offer, how much more God can do in our lives when we trust Him. Let's take a time to write a letter to ourselves and forgive ourselves for where we felt stuck or scared. Honor that, but then move on to thanking yourself. This is important. Thanking yourself for having courage and being brave enough to go through failures, okay? Okay, so this part right here, I want everybody to stand up for a second. Stand up for a second. And then stretch it out. And then if you're in a place where you feel okay, I want you to do 10 jumping jacks, okay? If you need to hold your chest, go for it. 10 jumping jacks. I know you're feeling stupid, especially if you're around other people, so just laugh it off, okay? 10 jumping jacks, shake it out. Shake it out, just shake it, okay? So if you're in the conference room downstairs, I know you're probably laughing at me right now because you're having to do this in front of other people. If you're at home, just shake it out, okay? Because in this part right here, all right, because a lot of us, we are comparing ourselves to other people. I saw a comment, something about, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough. Guys, God made you perfect. He did not make an assembly line of every single person to look the same way, okay? He did not make an assembly line for all of us to be the exact personality. That would be the most boring earth ever if He did that. He wants us to have unique, different talents, all of those things, okay? Tammy, no jumping jacks with a broken leg. That would, just wiggle in your seat. That's fine. Okay, so I want you to write a letter to yourself, thanking yourself for having the courage to fail, okay? Having the courage to be brave enough to try, more things than just one. Because I can tell you, when you reach the goal you think that you're headed towards, okay, there's been several goals, especially in the past couple years, that I gotta take a breath because I'm not very athletic. So when I do jumping jacks, I'm like, there's been some, pretty big goals that I've had in the past couple years that I've reached. And when it happened, I just thought, oh my gosh, there's going to be this, parade, everybody's going to celebrate and blah, 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 and you work so hard to get to that goal. And then it happens and it literally, Rhonda, you are cracking me up. Now I have 2 black eyes. That sounds like something my family would say. So you're literally working so hard for this goal, for this, whatever it is, whatever you are dreaming of in this thing. And what I have found in the things that I have reached, that, it happens and it's like, yay, that's great, and my family's excited, but it's just a very, very short moment in time. And guess what? We're on to the next goal. Usually as I'm in a goal, I'm already, right now, for example, yesterday we had all these meetings with Dollywood and getting everything ready for this and for the next several days for the people that are coming live. And me and one of the other girls in Dollywood that are, getting it ready, guess what we're talking about? We're talking about dates for next year. We're already planning the next thing and I think sometimes we go, this is a big goal. And, in the past, I thought once I reach this goal, I'm going to be happy. Once I make this amount of money, I'm going to be happy. It does not work that way. For those of you that have really done big things in your life, or you've really done, even if it was little goals, even if it was like, hey, I'm going to drink, 5 glasses of water every day and it's going to make me start feeling better, or whatever it is. It's the progress of reaching those goals that matter. It's the person you're becoming as you're reaching those goals that matter. Are you still being kind to your family? I have really struggled sometimes when I have a lot of pressure on myself and then I'm unkind to Bobby. Or I, blow off Pixie when she just wants to tell me something. You know, I've made so many mistakes like that. And so what I want to do is I want, while we are building this dream life of yours, while we are building these dream lives of ours, we want to appreciate and notice the moments as they go, as they're happening. Because when you reach that big, big goal that you think is going to make everything better, seriously, like the first time I reached one of my biggest goals that I was like, oh my gosh, that was freaking cool. I cannot believe that happened. It was like 2 minutes of like, that was amazing, that was awesome, and then life literally went back to normal. So if I put all of my energy into only enjoying that few minutes and not enjoying this whole process of life and experiencing it, you are going to be left disappointed. You're going to be left sad. You're going to be left feeling empty. You're going to be left like wondering what happened. And so I just want to caution you to make it fun, make it about the progress, to make it about like not, oh my gosh, I wish I already had, 50 people watching my Facebook Lives, or I wish I already had this amount doing this, or I wish I already had, 15 paint parties scheduled between now and Christmas. Instead go, okay, where am I at right now? How can I enjoy what is happening right now? And I want you to appreciate that. So you are going to write a letter to yourself, and you are going to thank yourself for all the times you put yourself out there. You're going to thank yourself for embarrassing yourself, for failing, for being brave enough to even try, okay? Because I can tell you most of the world out there is not even trying. So we have got to be in it and learn to love our life as we're doing it, and to treat people with kindness during the process, okay? So let's go ahead and start the letter. I'm gonna give y'all, on this one, I'm gonna give you about 8 minutes. And I just want you to just write. And for those of you that don't have this book, it is in the announcements. There's one that can be edited. And there's also one that you can print. So if you want to go back and print this and go back through this again. But again, I want you to go in here and write the letter to yourselves, forgive yourself where you felt stuck or scared, honor it, but then move past that and thank yourself for having the courage and being brave enough to keep going through the failures, okay? So this is a letter of gratitude towards yourself. All right, ready, set, go. make sure you write in here what you're proud of yourself for, okay? So make sure as you're writing this, write, I'm proud of myself for this. And remember, you already forgave yourself. You already let all that crap go. So don't be bringing that into this letter, okay? You've forgiven yourself. Now you're talking about what you are proud of yourself for and what you're thankful for trying and doing, even if it did lead to failures, because those failures are going to bring you to the next step, which brings you to the next step, okay? Yeah, Barb, that's great. Let me remember this and not my past mistakes. Yes, definitely. This is a gratitude. This is a thankfulness letter to yourself. So I want you to make sure as you're doing this, again, this is about thanking yourself for these failures, because how many of us are literally going through life and we're not even trying, okay? So for those of you that are trying and you're creating stuff like grat tats, like I did and thought that was gonna be a huge success, things like that, you know, again, when I was in it, like I thought that was going to be so big. Like I just, with all my being, I thought that was what it was. There's many other things that I tried that I thought was going to be something big, but it led to the next step. And I know where I'm at right now, it's just leading to the next thing. So in that letter, and again, just a second, we're going to move on to the next stage of this possibility. But what I want you to remember is that it's about thanking yourself for trying. It's about thanking yourself for having those failures, because without those failures, you're not able to grow. And without growth, you literally, like, there's no purpose in life if you're not growing, okay? You have always, no matter what age you are, there's always a reason you need to be trying something new. You need to be reaching towards that next step. So we've gone through the forgiveness part. We've written the letter to ourselves. thanking ourselves for trying, thanking ourselves for those failures because it bought. Gabrielle, she says, I bought some grat tats. You remember the grat tats. Okay, so the next stage, thank you, by the way. The next stage is possibility. Okay, so again, this is all about forgiveness, possibility, and action. So I wanted to spend more time on that forgiveness part because I think that's the part that when you let go of that crap, then you can start thinking about the possibilities, okay? So this says, no matter what you're facing, you have what it takes to figure out anything and become the person you're meant to be, by Marie Forleo. We had that earlier. Possibility, don't give energy to the way others make you feel, okay? This is about you dreaming big and failing fast. Think of 3 things you want to happen before the end of this year. This is where we're starting to think about possibility. Now, this isn't where all of a sudden, you know, if you're making $1,200 a month, you're all of a sudden going to say, by December, I want to be a millionaire. That is not realistic unless you win the lottery. But there are 3 things that you can do that are going to be able to happen before the end of the year. And things that can happen within 5 years. So a lot of times we underestimate what we can have happen in a 10-year period, but we overestimate this is all supposed to happen in a year, right? If it doesn't happen in a year, it's not meant to be, okay? So I want you to remember that. So right now, under the possibility section, so if you don't have this, again, it's in the announcements. If you don't have it, use a piece of paper. And this is where we're going to start dreaming big, okay? This is where I want you to think of 3 things you want to happen before the end of the year, okay? If you're making $1,500 a month right now, please do not put you want to be a millionaire by December. That's not realistic. For example, I would not say I would like to buy a private jet. Like, that is not what I'm trying to think about right now. I'm thinking about things that I can actually do, things that are action steps. That doesn't mean that you can't make $1 million one year, or you can't make $1 million later, or you can't buy your private jet later, but you have to be realistic. If you're already making millions, maybe buying the private jet is next on your step, but that's not a realistic goal for me and my family at this point. So I want you to think of 3 things you want to happen before the end of the year, okay? And then I want you to think of 3 things that you want to happen before the end of 5 years. Okay, so you're going to be writing 3 things down before the end of this year and 3 things down before the end of 5 years. All right, so if you feel like sharing them, please put them in the comments and I'll start reading them aloud. But I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to write these down. And this is the possibility part. Again, we've talked about forgiveness. We're talking about the possibilities now, and then we're going to talk about action and how to make it happen. Okay, so start writing them down, your 3 things. Bobby's in here and he's making me laugh. Sorry. And this can be business or personal. You can use this whole program, this whole Dream Big Masterclass for business and personal. So some of you may want to go back through it just business. Some of you may want to go back through it just personal, okay? So Kelly says, book at least 1 paint party a week, stick to a set social media schedule, and having my house purged and organized. Oh, that's great. Leslie says, complete the paint party headquarters training. Leslie, those are ever ending. So just take your time with it. We have more stuff every month for you. Samantha says, be debt free. I only have my house and business credit cards. Oh, that's wonderful. That's something that can be done. Debbie says, having all the details of my membership ready by December 1st so I can market it as the perfect Christmas gift for your child or children. Awesome. So yeah, so you're thinking of 3 things by December, and then you're thinking of 3 things within 5 years. So a 5-year goal may be something bigger, like you want to take your family on a really awesome beach vacation, or you want to buy that house, or you want to move to a different location. Let's see some of the other ones. Have my first paint party. And Belinda says, Sandy says to be confident doing virtual paint parties, be confident doing paint parties, and start paying off debt. That's so good. Let's see, Marta says, enough paint parties and kits from November and December to pay for a wished family vacation for Christmas and end of year for all family together. So cool. Renee says, enough paint parties and paint kits in November and December to pay for so much. Oh, I think I just read that one. An affordable home to live in. Sorry, the comments are going fast. 1 virtual, 3 a month, make enough money for my business to pay for my monthly bills without stress. Jody says, my website complete and my blog started by December 1st. Deborah says, have consistent sales and paint parties, pay off credit cards. And Samantha says, 5-year, build out a commercial kitchen and studio combo, new horse trailer for my son to go to college with. Awesome. Vicky, I love reading people's goals and dreams. Vicky says, organizing my classroom and home studio spaces, not putting anything else on credit, sell off items I don't need, and let go of unnecessary items. Retire in 5 years, profit in my art studio, membership success, clarity. Ryan's day program paid for by boost sales, 5K of credit card debt paid off. Julie says, grow my following, build an income, have paint parties and sell art kits, to purchase a water lot on canals with a pool in 5 years, Debbie says, so cool. Lisa says 2K followers by end of year and a glow forge paid for itself. Those glow forges look awesome. Becky says retire debt free. Lisa says trip to Texas, would love to live there. Texas is a pretty cool place, just saying. Debbie says to retire my husband. Michelle says end of year, 100 members for my launch, 5-year debt free, completely clutter free environment. Jody says 5 years, build a property, create retreat space so others can create a warm, relaxing environment. Oh my gosh, so many cool stuff. Oh my gosh, y'all have so many cool ideas and so many dreams, so many possibilities. Okay, so writing it down, guys, that is huge. Again, we've talked about how only 3% are writing down their goals in the whole place. Are you Snapchatting me? 3% of people are writing down their goals anywhere, like in the world, and 1% are actually reviewing these goals daily. So it's one thing to write all this down and do all this work. It's another to look at them daily. That's why we talk about, me and Pixie, we usually do a vision board every year, and then we usually write a letter to ourselves. We seal it, and then we put it away, and then in a year we'll grab it and reread it and see things that have happened. Oh, I love that. That's great. Can you text it to me?
Yes.
No, I don't know how to use Snapchat. I'm not a kid. Can you just text it?
Okay.
I don't know how to snap it.
Okay.
Bobby Snapchatted me something I'll post, but I don't know how to do that snap crap. Snap crap. Snap crap. It's for those whippersnappers. Whippersnappers are so young. They know all that snap crap. Okay, so the next page, it talks about what can happen now, and what can happen now that we have forgiven ourselves and know that failure is a must for success. Okay, so how many of y'all realize, or maybe you're just now realizing this, and a lot of you, because you're here, you probably already know this. Failure is a massive, massive part of being a success. How many of y'all are just now like realizing that? Like, to be successful, you must have lots of failures. I know some of y'all are like, crap, I hate being rejected. I hate not feeling worthy. I hate embarrassing myself in front of people. Once you get over all of that and you don't care what other people think, and you know that God has a purpose for your life, and there is a plan, and there is a pit in your stomach that you know that you're supposed to do something, regardless if it's me trying to sell Grat Tats and you know, it failed, but it led me to the next step. And then, you know, I did some other things that totally failed and led me to the next step. Sometimes the failure is really just guiding us, okay? So for those of you that are just now learning this, it's a must. Having failure is a must. Leaders anticipate, losers react. Okay, I want you to write that down. Leaders anticipate, losers react. So this goes back to when COVID hit, okay? And this goes back to any time, anything happens in the world, right? A lot of people immediately went into fear. And a lot of you have had like personal experiences with COVID. You've had family, you know, pass away. I'm not talking to you right now, okay? So know that in my heart, that makes me so like just, it's unbearable. I totally cannot relate to that. And I'm so sorry for people who have lost family members and things like that. But what I do know that a lot of people that did not have any family that had COVID, that did not have anybody they were super close to have it, they went into full retreat mode. They went into full reaction mode. They went into total fear mode, okay? If you did that, it's okay. Forgive yourself for it and move on. Because here's the thing. Yes, be safe. Yes, you know, do the things that your state is telling you to do. I'm not saying don't do that. We're running an event, but we are running it safely. We are running it with social distance. We're running it with masks. We're following every single thing Dollywood is telling us to do. But what I want you to realize is that over the past 6 months, 7 months, whatever it has been since March when everything shut down, you know, my brain immediately started going, how can I help these women pivot so they can still make money? How can I help them know that, yes, this time is scary, but we can't sit in it. We cannot sit in fear. We have got to take action. And what is the possibilities out there that if you start taking action? So I have seen, especially inside of Paint Party headquarters, I have seen some of y'all have more business than you have ever had before because you took action. You realized, okay, leaders anticipate. What can I do differently? Losers react. And I say that with lots of love to tell you that we can't just sit in self-pity. We can't just sit in, oh my gosh, let me twiddle my thumbs and wait for somebody to tell me what else I need to do. We can't. If you want a successful life, if you want an extraordinary life, if you want a life where you can choose to, you know, go to the grocery store and buy whatever you want and not have to look at your checking account because you're afraid that you might not have the money to cover it. Again, I've been there more times than you know, right? If you want a life that's different, you have to do different things. Dave Ramsey talks about it all the time. He's like, you know, everybody's normal. Not putting on stuff on a credit card, that's not normal. You know, we finally got all of our credit cards paid off, you know, a few years back. And do you know how many times people have told me, go get a credit card, go get a business credit card. You need a business credit card. You're going to have a credit card. And I'm like, I am not getting a freaking credit card. I'm not doing it. I paid them off. They're done. Zilch. I go to Kohl's. Would you like to charge it on your charged credit card? No, I don't. I don't want to charge it so I can get an extra 20% off. No, thank you. Please give me the full price. Don't even give me the sale if I got to put it on a freaking credit card. Like you have to be that convicted to where you can make things change. Because if you keep doing business as normal, business as usual, I talk about it all the time. Do you want to be Netflix or do you want to be Blockbuster? Okay, so knowing the possibility is there, but also knowing that you have got to, fear is everywhere. Everybody wants you to be scared of everything. Everybody wants you to question everything. Okay, it's almost like if you're a happy, successful person, there's something wrong with you in today's society. And it's because people are putting judgment, people are not forgiving each other, people are putting hate, all of that. And you've got to get away from that. Don't be that person. And when you're sucked into those groups of friends or those places or those people, you got to know that this isn't what I want for my life. And you have to be strong enough to go, maybe I'm not going to call that person, or maybe that's not going to be the person that seriously is, I'm going to go have coffee with, because I know when I leave that conversation, I'm going to feel like crap. You have to start thinking that way. So Matthew 7:8 says, for everyone who asks receives, the one who seeks finds, and the one who knocks, the door will be opened. Matthew 7:8. Okay? So here's the thing, guys. There are so many places in the Bible, that it talks about asking for what you want. Again, that's the whole reason why I started co-creating. I call it co-creating with God. And it's literally me writing letters to God about the crazy, wildest dreams, the thankfulness, my anxieties, the stuff I'm terrified of, the stuff I'm afraid to be rejected of. All of those things are in here, right? That I write to God, that I put to Him, to ask Him for help. All of those things. That's my possibilities. That's where I write the possibilities. That's where I ask, like, God, could this really happen? Like, could this be a thing? Because I know He can do anything we want. In the Bible, it says, ask and you shall receive. There's many, many verses like that. But so many times, going back to the very beginning, we put everybody else's needs first and we forget. But remember, if you're taking care of yourself, if you're showing confidence, how much is your child or your family going to get by you stepping up and going for your dreams? How much is it going to show them if all of a sudden, for example, Pixie is seeing me do something that I'm terrified to do? That before I hit play or go live, she knows I'm nervous. But then she knows I turn it on and I'm like, okay, it's go time. We got to do this, right? It's going to teach her how to do things like that. So what if I fail? We can laugh about it later. But we have to know there's possibilities, okay? So what is it that you want most? So out of those 3 things that you wrote down, I want you to circle the one that you want the most, okay? So remember, just a few minutes ago, we wrote down 3 things that we wanted and by the end of December, and 3 things that we wanted by the end of the 5 years. I want you to circle the one you want the most by the end of December. And then I want you to circle the one you want the most by the end of 5 years, okay? So go ahead and circle those, and then I want you to type them in if you're willing to share. And I'm going to take a quick drink. I feel like we need like 8 more hours for this. Okay, so go ahead and put, if you want to type in, you can just type in one of the things you want the most. And then we're going to start, after this possibility, we're going to start doing some stuff that's going to show us how to take action. Okay, so Deb says, be confident, okay? Good, so you have that circled. Make sure you have it circled. Tammy says, end of year, pay for tuition, 5 years, Italy. Oh, I want to go to Italy so bad. Amanda says, by the end of this year, I want to pay off a big debt that weighs heavy on my heart. Oh, that's great, Amanda. When I paid off my student loans, it was like such a big thing. It took me 15 years, but finally got it. Cher says, retire at 60 and making $5,000 a month consistently. Great goal. Julie says, start building an income, retire my husband. William says, 5 years American citizen. Oh, I'm just hoping that works out for you. That's awesome. Belinda says, retire. Tara says, show off my art somewhere. Aletha says, so Tara, be a little bit more specific with your goal. Aletha says, in 1 year, I want to earn my teacher's salary equivalent through paint parties. 5 years knowing technology to help me succeed. Connie says, consistently visible on social media. And Deborah says, make $1,500 a month this year, 5-year home paid for. Oh, that would be amazing. So cool. So many great things. Okay, let me read 2 more. 3 things by the end of December, what we want by the end of 5 years. One of the things I want the most, I know my calling is a Christ and follow through without doubt. And Angel says, I want my business to be a full-time job. My only 5 years, 5 multiple streams, is it say 5 years, multiple streams of income. So good. Oh my gosh, I'll have so many. I can't read them all. I'll go back though. I'll go back and read them all. I need to comment because my comments went away. Let me see if it does it. Okay, there they go. Okay, so what you need to do now. So we have that one goal circled, okay? So now what I want you to write down on the next page of the possibility is I want you to write down who is currently doing something you want to do, okay? Success leaves clues. Model those that are doing what you want to do and do what they are doing. All right, so I know I'm here teaching you this stuff too. So if you're wanting to do things that I'm doing, of course, you can write my name if you want. But if there's something else that you're wanting to do that I am not skilled at, remember, like, you know, I'm not sitting here saying I'm the expert in everything. I just really try to, you know, if I know I can do it, I try to learn it. And then as soon as I learn it, I try to teach it, you know. So try to find who is doing what you're doing. So if you know somebody that's paid off their house and your goal is to pay off their house, I'm not that person because I don't have my paid off house yet. One day I will, hopefully sooner than later, but I'm not that person to get advice for a paid off house. I am your person to teach you how to do paint parties, how to make money doing paint parties, how to start doing paint parties online. That's where I'm really good at. How to build an email list, all of those types of things, right? So write down who is doing the stuff that are doing. Who, to get to that goal, who is that person? If it's trying to get debt free, Dave Ramsey is a great person to listen to and watch. If it's trying to, somebody said, go to Italy, okay? What do you need? Who do you need to start looking at so you can go to Italy? Is it getting your debts paid off? Is it putting money aside? You know, find the people that are already doing what you're doing and start modeling them. Success, you know, they talk so much about like success is so, it's just so far away. Like to do this, you know, everybody's definition of success is different. For example, mine forever, and I still feel successful because of this, is having Tostito chips and Tide in for my laundry. Like that was just like, if I could ever just buy the name brand Tostito chips and use Tide for my laundry, I will feel like I have made it. And now that I'm able to buy Tide all the time and Tostito chips, it's like, that's my version of success. And I know that's stupid to a lot of people. But what I want you to do is everybody's definition of success is different. Some people don't want a giant house. Some people don't care about cars. You know, my husband is a big car and motorcycle person. I could care less. Like that kind of stuff does not make me excited. Buying some fringe boots, yes, that makes me happy. I want to go look at every single cowboy boot possible and I want to try them all on. Like that's like a perfect day, and then drink a coffee while I'm doing it. Like that's my definition of success. I could care less about the other stuff. Yeah, Debbie says success is ever changing. It's true. You know, some things you think that you do want, they can change whenever you're growing as a person. You know, things that you thought were important all of a sudden aren't as important as you start to grow as a person. So I want you to think about those people and start modeling what they're doing, okay? So here's a quote of mine I put in here: take action through fear. Here's a little secret about success. Everybody's scared. Everybody. Even the people that are pretending they're not scared, they're scared. Anybody that you see that is doing successful stuff, you know, the only reason they're looking confident as they're doing it is because they have done it so much, okay? So even whenever, you know, you look at me on a video and you're like, oh, well, she just comes across so confident, you know, I'm always terrified. I think my baseline is terrified. I just run around with the baseline of terrified. So what we're about to do is we're about to start taking action. So we talked about forgiveness, about the possibility, and now we're moving on to the action phase, okay? So if you want, go ahead. If you're in your page, it's page 20. So what small step, and this is based on on your goals that you circled. This is not based on what I want for you. This is based on your goals, okay? So what small step can you do this week, this month, and this year? All right? So yeah, Kathy says, if you're wanting to save for retirement, for example, are you talking about working with a financial advisor? Yes, for sure. So for example, if you're wanting to save for retirement, find a financial advisor that you trust. Start listening to Dave Ramsey's podcast. I'm telling you, anytime, because again, we've struggled with money in the past with bankruptcy. And now I feel like God's been giving us many, many blessings lately. I don't want to, I felt that anxiety. I talked to y'all about me having to go to the therapist because I felt that anxiety of like, I'm going to screw this up. I'm going to mess this up again. And we have to forgive ourselves. I had to forgive myself and then thank God for the blessings that he's given me and know that he's going to help me and help me use this for good and help bring this forth. But if we sit there the whole time and go, well, I messed up before, I can't do it. So yeah, so anytime I'm like, I feel like I might mess this up, I either talk to my financial advisor or I start pulling up podcasts of Dave Ramsey or go to YouTube and type in Dave Ramsey about to buy every cowboy boot in the store, whatever it is that I know I need to get back on track with, right? And lots of prayer, just finding the people that can lead you towards that goal. Because yes, there's going to be many things that I can help you with, but I'm not the expert in everything. I can only help you with paint parties, making money, doing that kind of stuff with your online, those types of things. But when it comes to, you're trying to get rid of your credit cards, my go-to is have a crap load of paint parties and start putting a percentage of that towards your credit cards. Have non-negotiables with yourself. One of the big things in July is I was so used to snooze. I'd snooze like 5 times every day. It was my habit. And one of my non-negotiables was I'm not going to hit snooze anymore. Before I go to bed, I'm going to make a conscious effort of I need up at 8 a.m. I need up at 7 a.m. I need up at 9 a.m. Whatever it is, whatever that day looks like. I'm going to set my alarm and it is non-negotiable and I will be up at that time. There's no arguing with myself. I'm not starting the day off in a battle. I'm not going to start the day off thinking, well, it'll be okay. The meeting doesn't start till then, blah, blah, blah. No, I got sick of fighting with myself at the beginning of the freaking day. Every day I did that for years. In July of this year, the end of July of this year, just a few months, I said, done. It's non-negotiable. Whatever I put on my alarm the night before, because my schedule is different. Sometimes I have, really late parties, or sometimes I have, late lives. And so I'm not going to always get up at the same exact time every morning. So I made that non-negotiable. And it's been so much easier just in the morning. Just that one simple trick of not going to battle myself as soon as I wake up. It's not a negotiation. I set my alarm for 7:30. I'm getting up at 7:30. Done. Start my day, right? Grab my coffee and go. So what small step can you do this week, this month, this year? And this is what we talked about. We tend to overestimate what we can do in a year, and we underestimate what we can do in 10 years. Tony Robbins said that, and it's so true. So look at the last decade. Think about where you were 10 years ago. Think about where you were in 2010, okay? And I want you to look how far you've come in 2010. So go ahead. If you want to write it down, you can. If not, I just want you to think about it. But back in 2010, if you were like me, I think we were living in an apartment at the time. I think we were, I don't know if we were doing I don't know where we were for sure. But I think about where my life was, where my business was at that time, and fast forward 10 years, how much has happened, okay? So think about that. So what small steps can you do this week? So write that down. Based on that goal you circled a couple pages back in the possibility. And we have about 30 minutes left. So based on that one goal that you circled, what can you do this week to help that goal that you wanted to have happen. It can be small steps, y'all. It does not have to be big steps. It actually probably needs to be small steps. When you do these big steps, it gets overwhelming, and then you're like, done. I can't do it. Yeah, Veronica says, small step this week. Step out in faith and go to Paint Party Headquarters Live and learn and apply. Small step in the next month. Take action. Good job, Veronica. I need to have a business plan in order to, small step in next year. Put time in every day and serve my community with my callings in Christ Jesus. So cool. Yeah, again, too, guys, Deborah says, go live for the reverse party. Yes, that's a small step. Don't make it so big. You know, mine, for personal reasons right now, is to take a walk every day, because I sit so much, whether it's a paintbrush in my hand or it's me on the computer working and answering questions or whatever it is. I sit so much that when I walk upstairs, I'm out of breath, and I'm 41. I'm like, my body should not be that way, you know? And so I have forgiven myself for that. But I also know that that is a small step to make me, you know, because one of my big dreams is to paddleboard in crystal clear water. I just want to find every crystal clear water I can find and paddleboard in it, because that's what I want to do. But to do that, I need to be healthy. I need to be able to carry a freaking paddleboard. I need to be able to walk in some sand and not get winded. But if I'm sitting and I'm not moving my body, and I'm not, you know, and I'm not trying to make a goal to go run a marathon. That's not what I'm trying to do. I just want to get off my ass and go for a quick walk. That's all I'm trying to do. Small steps, and then it'll go a little bit more and a little bit more. So don't make these big, extravagant goals right now. Let's see what else we got here. Debbie says, go to Dollywood and soak in everything I can. Take it home, process it, and then put it into action. Baby steps every single day. Michelle, get feedback from my new friends at Dollywood. Julie says, do daily lives, do the steps to capture emails, learn how to do the tech stuff better. Good. Or actually calendarize time for working on business. Good. Balia says that. Okay, so let me read one more, and then I'm going to take y'all to the next step. In the next year, to have a website which captures emails and market to them. Francine, you are thinking smart, my friend. Tammy says, Squarespace tutorials to get website updated myself. In the month, she wants to stick to consistency. In the year, write it down with God and hubs as we do it together. That's so cool. Oh my gosh, somebody said do 2 Facebook Lives at Dollywood. Yes, it's a cool place to do it. Schedule time to learn to paint better, practice more without expecting perfection. One of my big prayers this month was, because we can compare ourselves to everyone, right? Because there's always going to be somebody prettier, healthier, stronger, richer, smarter, more Christ-like. I mean, there's always going to be somebody out there better than something. There just is. You know, there's zillions of people in the world. So one of my big things was I kept praying for God to please help me with inspiration for paintings, because I want to be able to give Paint Party Headquarters the best paintings, the paintings that I know are going to sell, to get the guests that are going to be able to help give paintings that we know are going to sell online, in person, all those things. And so one of my big prayers was like, okay, I know I'm not the best painter, but I know God is a big God, and I can pray for inspiration. And so that's how I came up with the Witches Be Crazy and the Hootable Harvest and the new snowman that we just released for all of y'all in Paint Party Headquarters. We just released yesterday. And so it was really cool to go, oh my gosh, like I can pray, I can ask God for help, and then I can also take massive action and start trying to create these things. And that's where I love like that whole thought of, you know, God being the ultimate entrepreneur, God being the ultimate artist, and how his, you know, undeniable power and it can come, you know, can help us with what we need to do. So now I want you to think about what step you can do this month and what step you can do this year. Okay. So I want you to write that down. Now on the next page, it says, find out who you are and do it on purpose. That was written by Dolly Parton. One of my favorite quotes. I've done a painting on it. I know a lot of you have really loved that quote as well. This next step is clarity equals power, okay? When you know what actions you need to clearly take, you can move forward. So some of y'all have said some things in the comments that are very, very specific, which A+. Some of you have said some things in the comments that are great and they're awesome, and I thank you for sharing, but they're very, very wide. They're very non-specific, and it is very hard to reach your goals when you're very broad, when you're not specific, okay? So this next page right here, and again, this is in the announcements, it's called business discipline. So if you're doing this with a personal, then you can write something personal. But it says clarity equals power. When you know what actions you need to clearly take, you can move forward. What are the things that actually help your business move forward? Okay, so there's a spot here. And if you don't have this, go ahead and just put a line down the middle of your paper. And then I want you to put on here, things that move my business forward. And then I want you to put things that bottleneck my business, okay? So you're gonna put a line. If you don't have this, print it out, it's okay. I want you to do this. Okay, so things that move my business forward. So I'm gonna have forward over here, and then I'm gonna put bottleneck. And I'm gonna give you a couple of examples, and then I want y'all to give some examples. So me reading email for 3 hours a day is me bottlenecking my success. I am not going to bring my business forward by putting 3 hours of my day towards reading emails, okay? If you set a timer, I've talked about this before, for those of you that are new to me and don't know this, if I'm gonna read emails, I'm gonna set a timer for 20 minutes and I'm going to pretend like I am on Supermarket Sweep. If you've never watched that show, me and my family, my mom used to always have it on and we loved watching it. But I would literally we'd watch it and they have to get so many things in a minute time and they could win all this money or whatever. And so I want you to think about what you're doing that's bottlenecking your business. So what I was doing was I would start on email and next thing you know, it was noon. And I have not made any money for my business. I have not done anything that was gonna be helpful for my business. So mine is emails. Okay, to move that forward, I'm gonna set a 20-minute timer. I'm just giving you some examples and then you can do your own. And I'm only gonna do it once a day. Guess what? It is okay to not check your email every 5 seconds of the day. I promise you, okay? All right, so bottlenecking for me was emails to move my business forward, 20-minute timer once a day. All right. And for some of y'all too that need help with support, a lot of times y'all are like, I emailed, and sometimes I notice that you've emailed on the weekend. And remember, give people grace. Think of the same thing if you're running your business. If you're emailing somebody on a Friday night, don't expect Saturday morning that sorry, phone calls trying to come through. Don't forget that on why haven't they responded? It's Saturday morning and blah, maybe you're, working on the weekend because that's the only time you have or whatever that is. But remember to give people grace. You want to put out the energy that you want to receive. So if you're always being negative to people or you're always, talking bad about people behind their back, if you're always, saying, somebody told me this the other day, and they said, gossip. If you're talking bad about somebody behind their back, it's like you're talking bad about what God created. And we don't want to do that, so we can get into this gossip mentality. We can get into this, well, it's easy for them to do it, but not for me. Take all the crap away. Take all that away. We went through that. We forgave. We let it go. We're getting rid of the expectations of what our family should think or do for us. And this is about you and God and creating the life you want, okay? Another one for me, and again, I want y'all to type y'all's in, is if I get on Facebook and it's not for answering questions. It's just for scrolling. So if I'm scrolling Facebook, and then next thing you know is I have compared myself. I've thought, they're doing better than me. Why am I not this far along? I've been doing this longer than they have. How dare they make it faster than me? Like that kind of crap, okay? There's no room for that. So if I'm gonna go on Facebook, usually I'm on Facebook for 2 reasons. I'm on Facebook to answer questions in Paint Party headquarters, or I'm on Facebook to make sure there's no messages that I have to have. I am the worst at returning Facebook messages. And I've told y'all this before. I'm like, that is not the way to get to me because I'm the worst. I'm not really, really good at that. Okay, so write down the things that are bottlenecking your business because you're going to be able to immediately start taking action on that. On knowing, okay, emails at 20 minutes a day. Facebook, 20 minutes a day unless I'm working, okay? Yeah, social media, Para is right. It's a rabbit hole. It's awesome for our businesses because you can do things that were never available before. But you have got to have boundaries on yourself. You've got to control yourself or it's going to not be good, okay? Okay, so this is another quote by Dolly Parton. She says, people who said it can't be done, stop interrupting those of us doing it. I love that quote so much, okay? So much. Because there's so many people out there that are not doing things. They're on the sidelines. They're typing in mean comments. They're acting like jerks, whatever it is. I want you to not even think about that. One of my friends, she had an ad going and somebody was being mean in her ads. And so she turned off her ads. And my thought was, just ban and delete the jerks that are saying mean things because her ads were getting to other people who were helping other people who love her and want what she was offering. And the same thing happens anytime you put yourself out there. Remember, one of the number 1 fears is rejection. So, can I read that again? Okay, this is by Dolly Parton. People who said it can't be done, stop interrupting those of us doing it. Okay? I love this so much. And so anyway, so there's going to be people that say crap that as you start to put yourself out there, as you start to do lives, they're going to say things like, oh, why? Why are they doing that? Who cares? When you have a passion and you know that this is what I want in a year and this is what I want in 5 years, who gives a crap what your high school person way back when thinks of what you're doing? Who cares? Once you get past that and you don't care, don't worry about it. One of, if you haven't read Big Magic, there is cussing in it. I apologize for those I did not tell that before. But there's so many great things in there. In Big Magic, it's a book that I recommend by Elizabeth Gilbert that really just makes you not care. It makes you feel like you're in your 90s and you're like, you know what? I got maybe a decade left here. I'm going to live it like I want to live it. And that's what I want you to start doing today, no matter what age you're at. Okay, so this next one, think about what's preventing. This is where the Post-it notes. Did anybody get Post-it notes? Yes, Angel, they're in your past for a reason. Okay, so grab your Post-it notes. Now this activity I'm going to walk you through, and it's right here on page 24. So if you don't have it, it's okay. So I want you to write down that one big goal you had, okay? I want you to write down that one big goal you have. As I'm friending PPHQ peeps, I'm getting tons of scam people. Oh yeah, do not friend people you don't know. Y'all, don't do it. Don't friend people you don't know. Okay, so what I want you to do is in your Post-it note, I want you to write down that big goal that you wanted to have happen by December, okay? So whatever that goal was by December. So here's my big goal. I'm gonna be very transparent. So last year, my big goal, scary goal, okay, was to have 10 people take Paint Party Outer Limits with me. It's a course that I offer and we start in February. And so I was like, you know what, if I could, I was terrified. I was so terrified to do this goal because I was afraid of rejection. So I had, it's this I'm going to make it 8 weeks this year, but it's an 8-week course where I teach you like email marketing, because I had a whole year of studying email marketing and I love it. And there's so much potential in that, but a lot of people don't understand it. Facebook ads, it's like all these like next level things. That's why I called it Paid Party Outer Limits. I was so excited about it. And I said, you know what? If I could do this and if I could have 10 people take this course, because it's like $400 for Paint Party headquarter members, and then to the public I raise it for it's $597, so it's $397 for PPHQ people, and then I raise it $200 for non-members. And so I was like, if I could just have 10 people, if I could have 10 people take Paint Party Outer Limits, I would freak out. I mean, I was so scared to launch this that I was literally taking curtains down from my wall and washing curtains. And y'all, I don't do any, like, I'm not a house person. Like, I'm just not, I'm not a cook. I'm not really good at cleaning. Literally, there could be dirt all over my floors and it doesn't bother me because I'm that creative person. And so I said, you know what? If I could just have 10 people take Paint Party Outer Limits, like, I won't feel like a failure. I finally released it. And we had 100 people sign up for Paint Party Outer Limits. I was freaking out. I was like, what the heck just happened? I mean, I had no idea. Like, a lot of y'all on here are like, yes, loved it. Yes, right? So this year, so here's my big goal by the end of December, because I'm going to be offering it again starting probably December 1st. I'll offer it to Paint Party headquarter members first. And my goal is, my big scary goal, which I'm writing it in front of y'all, is to have 200 plus take Paint Party Outer Limits this year. That's my big, scary, real-time goal. So I want you to write your big, scary, real-time goal right here, okay? Then I want you to write out what are the things that are preventing you from achieving it, okay? So I want you to write out what's preventing you. So I'm just gonna take a Post-its. I'm gonna take some Post-its and I'm gonna write out all the things I think that are preventing me from achieving this. So my things are, I'm terrified. This is all true stuff. I'm scared of rejection. I'm scared I won't be able to lead y'all correctly. I want y'all to have so much success that I put so much pressure. So I'm going to put the pressure on myself. And then I'm going to put one more, which is self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is a big one. Does anybody have trouble with that? Self-sabotage. I am the best at self-sabotage. I've gotten better over the years, but oh my gosh, I used to procrastinate so bad because I would be so scared of failure that I would self-sabotage to where I wouldn't even take action. Does anybody else like self-sabotage? So what I want you to do is I want you to have your big goal, and then I want you to have all your reasons of why you feel like you can't accomplish it, okay? That's getting in the way. Then what I want you to do is I want you to write how you could solve these problems, okay? So scared I won't be able to lead. That's a bunch of crap, right? We know that's not what God wants us to think. That's the enemy talking. So I know if I'm scared I won't be able to lead, I know I'm gonna, do my Bible studies. Right now, what I want you to do is I want you to write out the antidote. Is that how you say that? If this is the negative that's getting in the way, what can I do to get out of my way? Okay? So I'm gonna be in Bible study. I'm gonna be writing my letters to God. I'm going to be practicing, because if I practice something, we get better, right? And the pressure on myself. Okay, so if you have this, then maybe I'm gonna put something like, if I'm putting pressure on myself, I'm gonna take more walks. give myself grace? How many of us need to give ourselves grace? Okay. What if I'm struggling with the techie part? What if, you know, me getting 200 plus for Paint Party Outer Limits or whatever your goal is? What if it's the techie part? Well, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to practice like crazy. I'm going to find somebody, whether it's somebody in Paint Party headquarters, somebody that's a friend of mine. I am literally going to find somebody and to practice that techie part with. Practice it. You know, athletes, they visualize what they want and they practice like crazy. They don't just show up on game day and hope they win. No, they visualize it. What's some of y'all's? We have Para says, get out of my own way. So Para, what could you do to get out of your own way? What's a realistic way to get to your goal? Again, here's my goal that I'm sharing openly for Paint Party Outer Limits. I want y'all to share. How could you get out? Rejection. One of mine is rejection. How could what's the antidote to not feeling rejected? What's the worst thing that can happen? I don't get people to sign up. But guess what? We talked about it. Failure is a part of success. Failure is a part of success. So if I fail, that means that was part of the process, but at least I tried. You still have to try, even though you might feel rejected. Yeah, getting better at reading comments while live, tech knowledge. If you teach kids for 10 years, you can lead. Yeah. Time, Jenny, time. I know you have three kids, correct? Jenny, so time, you may have to be one of those people that for a period of time, you know you got to wake up an hour earlier than any of those kiddos wake up. You know you got to dedicate, because again, doing this, guys, what we are doing, what you are creating, it's not simple, easy stuff. I mean, yes, at the end of the day, it's a paint party. And yes, it's your business. And so we have all of this emotion in it, right? Because it's almost like another child of ours. We put so much energy and so much time and so much dedication. And then whenever we get rejected, we feel like crap, right? Yeah, Judy says, I was in the Air Force. If somebody doesn't die, you were successful. Yes, I mean, it's like, who cares if we're rejected? But what if? Okay, so last year when I was terrified and I was thinking if I could just get 10 people to sign up for Paint Party Outer Limits and teach them this next level, that would help 10 more people be able to make money for their family or start to understand what the possibilities are out there, right? But I was so terrified. I put it off and put it off and put it off and battled with myself and self-sabotaged and did laundry when I hate doing laundry and washed my freaking curtains because I did not want to put it out there because I was so terrified that nobody would sign up and I would feel like a loser. And I put so much pressure on myself. And then I finally put it out there and then 100 people signed up. And I remember thinking, what is happening? This is crazy. And then I remember thinking, what if I wouldn't have gotten over the terrified part? What if I wouldn't have gotten over the rejection part? I would have never, ever been in a position to go, now I can dream this big. Not 2,000 people for Paint Party Outer Limits, but now I can dream the next level. Then next year I can dream the next step. Then I can dream the next step. So somebody tell me, what's one of the things that you have that is preventing you from doing the goal that you can remedy right now? Monique says, I have a hard time asking for help, but because of you, I'm getting better at it. Oh my gosh, Monique, I'm so happy to hear that. Ask for help. And be resourceful. Who can help you? Okay, I hire Pixie and her friends all the time to re-clean my art studio. Should I be not such a mess? Yeah, but I'm not. I'm a disaster. I'm a mess. I'm grabbing every paint and doing the paintings and creating, and the next thing you know, it looks like I threw up, right? It's just a disaster. But I could spend my time going, well, that sucks. I'm a failure. I did this beautiful painting, but I made a mess, and now I don't have time. I got to clean it, but now I'm not going to paint again because I can't do this. I could put all of these excuses, or I could pay Pixie and her friends $10 an hour, and they could clean it for me in 3 hours and start again. Then I trash it again, and then guess what? I hire them again. So get resourceful. It doesn't mean you have to go hire somebody for $400 a month to do stuff like that. Get resourceful. Start figuring out ways to cut time so you have time to work on the things that matter. Let's see. Sandy says time. Learning to say no to others wanting, not needing. My time, so I have time for me and reaching my goals. Yeah, time is a big one. Such a big one. Okay, so let's see. I have an assistant, my daughter. Yes. How do you limit your time learning everything there is to learn in Paint Party headquarters? Yeah, so time, I'll talk about time for just a second. I want y'all to have this because you can use this for any goal. So do this. Then I want you to write out what's causing it to not come true. Then I want you to self-sabotage. I want you to scratch through, and I want you to put the antidote to that. Okay, self-sabotage. If I'm not getting to it because I'm making excuses, I'm going to dedicate 1 hour a week, uninterrupted, towards this goal. You can get even more specific. I'm going to dedicate 1 hour on Tuesday at noon every week towards that goal. Okay, the more specific you get and the more you put it into your calendar, the more it's going to happen. For those of you that are in Paint Party headquarters and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't get to all the trainings. Guys, you should not be able to get to all the trainings. It is like a library. You don't run into a library and grab every single book and check them out. That's why the librarian only lets you check out so many books at a time, because you will be overwhelmed and you will not read any of them, okay? So I want you to remember Paint Party headquarters is like a library. You grab what you need when you need it. 2+ years worth of information is not meant to be consumed in 3 weeks. It's not how it works. It's not how life works. It's not how your goal setting works, okay? It has to be consumed in little bite-sized chunks. So this is an exercise I want you to do anytime you're reaching a goal, because you're going to be able to pull out what your goal is. You're going to be able to pull out the things that are stopping you. Rejection, pressure on yourself, not enough time, the techie part, whatever it is, self-sabotage. Then I want you to write out, what could you do? Brainstorm, be creative. We're the most creative people on the planet. Be creative and resourceful and figure out, how can I take that rejection, for example, and go, that's BS. What I'm gonna do is change that into something else. So what if I get rejected? It's part of failure. It's part of success, right? The techie part. I'm going to find somebody to practice with. I'm going to get resourceful. But you have to do it in small steps, okay? Winston Churchill said, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage that continues, the courage to continue that counts. I'm going to say that one more time. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Okay, so remember guys, we were problem solving. So I went ahead and we kind of just did this, but I just want to share with you another little section in here. Here is where, if you don't have this printed out, or maybe after this class, you might want to go to Staples and get it printed out and go through it again. Because this can be, I think sometimes this is something we need to keep doing to remind ourselves. So problem equals solution, and make decisions fast, okay? I had a business coach years ago, and she said, make decisions fast. I don't care if it's where you're gonna eat. I don't care if it's the color of, you're gonna pick for the coat you're gonna wear. I don't care if it's picking the movie you're gonna watch. Learn to make decisions fast. because that's going to help you in business, okay? How many of y'all have said to your husband, spouse, whatever, kids, I don't care, let's go out to eat. Where should we go? And then all of a sudden your kids are like this. They know exactly, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, whatever. They're saying it fast, right? Where the adults are like, maybe we should go to Chili's. I don't know, maybe lunch on Silver's. Like whatever, right? Like we're all over the place. So years ago, she taught me this trick. She said, make decisions fast. Make them fast. Like, who cares? Make a decision and move on. And so I want you to get in that habit of making decisions fast. So if you have a problem, when you get in this habit of making decisions fast, when you start having problems, you're going to start making solutions faster. You're not going to sit on it for a week, 2 weeks, a month, 6 months, and you haven't changed anything because you're so scared and you're stuck in fear. Instead, you're going to go problem. Back in March, here's a great example. Problem. My paint parties were canceled. Your paint parties were canceled. Every time I opened up paint party headquarters, parties were canceled. I didn't sit there and go, well, crap, this sucks. Paint party headquarters was awesome, but now I can't help these women. No. I went, what can I do? How can I help them? How can I change this? How can we not be Blockbuster? I have lots of skills I've learned over all the people I've paid to learn from email marketing to Facebook ads to tons and tons of funnels to lots of stuff that I don't share inside of Paint Party Headquarters. Lots of stuff that's usually in outer limits. How can I start teaching these people to start the online stuff? How can I teach them to not be Blockbuster? How can I teach them to do online paint parties? How can I help you pivot? Immediately, my brain, because I've been training myself for so long to make decisions fast, to move fast, to pivot when necessary, because I never, ever, ever want to be in that position where I was bankrupt again and lost it all. So I find solutions. My brain immediately, when somebody comes to me and starts complaining, I can't even help it. My brain is immediately going, how can I help fix that? What can we do to fix that? Well, they could do this. Well, this could happen. When I know sometimes people just want to vent. They just want to complain. But my brain immediately is like, what can we do to fix it? How can we solve this problem? And when you get into that mindset of the world isn't just this place of only fear and despair, but there's this place of goodness, kindness, abundance, opportunities, possibilities, you end up with this whole different outlook on life. Remember, we talked about pain is going to happen, but suffering is a choice. Remember, we talked about that towards the beginning. Don't choose suffering. Choose a solution. Choose a way to get out of it. So, and then Dolly Parton says, don't get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life. Okay? We touched on this too. Don't get so busy making this business for yourself, this life for yourself that you've looked down so long, and when you look up, you don't have your family there, or you don't have your friends there, or you didn't make time to go ride the roller coasters, or whatever it is. You've got to make sure during the whole process of creating this big, awesome life for yourself that you forgive yourself, that you actually have possibilities. You have those dreams, but then you take action on them. Okay, so the reason I wanted to do this, and I'm so, so grateful for you being here, and I know we're coming to our time here. We're about to finish up. But I want to leave you with you taking 2 steps next, okay? So I don't want to leave you with like, oh my gosh, I got all this great stuff, but now I don't even know what to do. Like, where do I go next, right? So in your notebook or in this book, I want you, and I also have a page if you want to do takeaways. If you want to write takeaways, you can write some of your takeaways in here. But what I want you to do is I want you to write down your 2 next steps, okay? They can be big next steps. They can be small next steps. All right, so I'm going to share with you what my 2 next steps for my goal. So this is based on your goal. So mine is based on 200 people for Paint Party Outer Limits, which again, the rejection, the terrified, all those things come up, okay? So I'm gonna write down my 2 big steps, okay? So my number 1 is to not procrastinate. And by not procrastinating, I will be opening that on December 1st. So I'm actually putting down a goal that makes me accountable. So I want you right now to put down a goal that makes you accountable. And then my number 2 big step, and this is big for me, but to take a walk every day. Or you will often see me do 10 jumping jacks randomly. Sometimes I'm so busy that I'll just have to stop and just stand up and do jumping jacks. I just have to get out the energy, get out the anxiety, whatever it is. And my husband and my daughter, they think it's totally normal now. They used to look at me for a minute weird. And my mother-in-law, the first time I saw it, she's like, what the heck? Now she knows it's totally normal. So if you see me doing jumping jacks, that's just one of the things I'm doing. What? Is it still not normal to you? Bobby just walked in. Sometimes I'll be working and I'm just like, oh, I just gotta jump. So whatever that is for you. So my 2 big next steps is to not procrastinate for that goal, is to, by December 1st, and then take a walk every day. This doesn't mean I'm trying to do a Boston Marathon. I'm not trying to do that. It just means I'm trying to take a walk. I'm just trying to take a walk, clear my head, put my phone down. Don't be on your phone while you're taking a walk. Yes, it's okay to listen to music or a podcast, but don't try to, don't try to like multitask and work and all of that while you're on your phone, but just take a walk. Those are my 2 big. So I know we're about to close and I'm going to close this in prayer. But if y'all don't mind, just type in your 2 things that are going to help you get to that big goal that you put on there. Okay. And then let me know if you like this. Let me know if you enjoyed this, being in the Dolly Suite with me. I know we've been planning this for so long, and I just hope that this was everything that you hoped it would be, and that you maybe got somewhere. I know we did a lot of like inner work with, forgiving ourselves and also letting go of expectations of other people. Because again, when you're on your deathbed, and I know this is kind of gruesome the way I'm saying this, but when I'm on my deathbed, whenever that is, I don't want to look back with regret. I don't want to look back and go, I really wanted this certain life, but I let all of these people say these things. And then I didn't do any of it because I was scared of rejection. I was scared of failure. I was scared of whatever those things were. So I hope and pray that this right here has helped just bring some clarity to you, and know that it's not rocket science, but it does take time. It does take being intentional. It does take writing down your goals to do these things and making them happen. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to and definitely read some of these things. So let me go ahead and close this in prayer. For those of you in Paint Party headquarters, I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to come back up. Oh, good, Sarah. I'm so happy. She said it was one of the best trainings she's taken. That's amazing. Oh, y'all are amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to close this in prayer. Those of you in Paint Party headquarters, we have our Q&A. So just because I'm traveling does not mean I am not doing our monthly Q&A. So Brendan already sent me the Q&A questions that y'all are asking. And so I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to have a snack, and then I'm going to get back on Paint Party headquarters live for an hour, and I'm going to be answering some of your questions, okay? For all of you that are actually coming to Dollywood, maybe you're already here and I'll see you in the hallways. We have everything starting tomorrow. So I'm so excited to meet you. If you don't want to be hugged, I'm telling you, you need to tell me, because if you say, hey Heidi, I'm here, I'm coming in. So you got to I'll social distance hug, but you got to tell me you don't want hugged if you don't want hugged, because I am a hugger. Okay guys, let's go ahead and end in prayer. And then again, I just wish you so much success with all your big goals and your dreams. And remember, we are all scared doing this. We got to take action through fear. All right, guys, let's pray. Dear God, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for this time with these women. Thank you so much for all that you're doing in their lives. I know that they're all over the world right now listening, watching replays. Hopefully they enjoyed the Dolly Suite tour. Hopefully they're seeing some really cool things that they can make happen. I know that you put these dreams in our hearts for a reason, God. I know that you're implanting these reasons for us. You're wanting us to do these big things in our lives, but we end up holding ourselves back because we're scared. And I just pray, God, that you would please release this fear from these women. Please, please, God, release this rejection fear, this fear of being unworthy, because you don't want that. You don't want us to feel that way. I know that. You have shown me that. And I'm so, so grateful that you've shown me that. I'm so grateful that you've shown me that this time in my life so that I can help others see this. God, I know you want good for them. I know you want good for each of these women. I know you want happiness in their lives. I love you, and I'm so, so grateful for each and every one of them. I pray that they see you. I pray that you see them. I pray that they are able to look at themselves in the mirror and know that they're your child. And I pray that whenever they look at themselves in the mirror, that they're not looking at all their flaws and the things that they don't like about themselves. But I pray that they're looking at the way that you look at them, and that you have so much love for them, and that you want them to have their goals, their dreams, these things that you're giving us. And I'm just so, so, so thankful for each and every one of them. I'm so thankful that you trust me to be able to speak to them. And I love you. And I just pray that you'll forgive us when we fail you. I pray that you'll just help us to be kinder to each other. I pray that if any of them are having trouble in their families, that you'll just help ease that tension and just help them to always know that they can come to you. We love you, God, and we're so grateful for everything you're doing in our lives. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, guys. I love y'all. I hope you love this, and let me know what you think. All right. Go reach your goals, your big dreams, and I'll see you soon. Bye.